Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. This is the Common Call and Roundtable discussion. I will be your host tonight. My name is Al. My online claim to fame is Dusty Big Brown. And I have right below me the host, Common Call and Roundtable discussion. His name tonight is Johnny Wishbone. Johnny Wishbone. And then up right above to my right, we have Stay Puff 1983, aka Sean.
What's going on, everybody?
And then we have a special guest. I know most people in the chat are going to know this individual. Cool as a fan, cold as a block of ice in the North Pole. And as Big Boy said, cooler than a polar bear toenails. Oh, hell, there he go again talking that shit. Big Reemo.
What's up, everybody, man? Thanks for having me tonight, guys.
No problem, man. It's a pleasure, brother. You know, it's your first time on the Common Call and Roundtable discussion panel. You know, welcome. You know, you hold it down like 4 flat tires in the chat most of the time. So, you know, it's always a pleasure, man, to hang around you, man. Last night, before we get started, folks, we had a great time last night on Stay Puff 1983 channel. Matter of fact, it was all 4 of us and a couple other guys, TiVo from Lords of the Long Box and Stone Cold Steve. And we talked about some music. And then afterwards, we talked about and listened to some music. We hate YouTube.
Trust me, I know.
Because we wanted to share the music with y'all. And we kind of, you know, did the Evil Knievel a couple of times, but you can't do it too many times. And they have shut down, locked down for 8 months in the gulag.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, how's everyone this evening?
Good. Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Great.
Mellow Saturday for lockdown in the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? Can't go nowhere anyway. So.
Oh, y'all only got locked down for real?
Got us down today, man.
Oh, wow. Well, it ain't happened in Georgia yet, but, you know, people ain't wearing their masks, so.
Yeah, but you guys, shoot, man. You guys are like Shangri-La, man. They ain't got no outbreaks out there.
Don't jinx them now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Next thing you know, boy, it'll be downtown Megan looking like Resident Evil 2. The damn Big Reemo, man, had to open his mouth.
Yep.
I like the worst thing that could happen is they shut down Florida, and next weekend Beulah's coming to the show for Infinity Con. I'm like, come on, man. I'm gonna go prepared with hand sanitizers and masks. Don't shut it down until after the show.
Man, just take you a spray bottle with some bleach in it and just start spraying, folks.
They told us if we travel over 150 miles, we got to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, wow. They doing that up in New York.
And then they said, if it ain't in your immediate family, you can't be around anybody outside your immediate family.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy.
And then that's been what it was for the last 3 days. And then as of midnight, it's mandatory. And it's a 10 o'clock curfew. Except for if you're essential. Unfortunately, I'm essential. So I got to go to work still.
Well, I know I live in Georgia, man. And Sean lives in Florida. And Johnny Wishbone lives in Georgia here. But we like to thank you for being a, essential worker, man. You do. I saw a meme one day where it says in the last 6 months, essential workers have been more important than actors and sports persons. That's true.
I don't see that on my paycheck. Like,
right?
I'm essential. Like, where's that bump at? You know, I'm going out there risking my lives for you country.
Yeah.
They only let us have that bump for like a month or two, and then they took that back with the good news, right?
Hey, man, they need to get that to y'all plus more, man, for real. And that's just me talking. I mean, I know I live in Macon, Georgia, so what I say ain't gonna matter out there on the West Coast. Yeah.
I got brothers out there that's got to be essential too, so it's like, you know what I mean? So. Hey,
man, I work for an insurance company, so my black ass is at the house, so But we're gonna go to the chat right quick. We got Varangian Vigilante in the chat. What's up, VV? I was also on his channel yesterday with Stay Puff, aka Sean, and we talked about Meteor Man. Yes.
Great show.
Man, I love that movie, man. I love it.
Yeah.
If you don't,
the amount of times we delayed that show just to get you on there, man.
Yeah, and they delayed it probably about 2-3 months, and I appreciate it. I felt honored, and it was right at home. So hopefully, our next show on Varangian's channel, we're gonna talk about my boy back down the wall. Y'all see him?
Godzilla.
Gojira. Shout out to C Maddox. What's up, everybody? What's up, C Maddox? We got my man Tito in the comics. Oh, we got Hialeah Comic Bro. Yeah, he's everywhere now. He's like Visa is everywhere you want to be. So
we also got Tim the Comic Collector. Shout out to him.
Oh, I missed you, man. I'm sorry about that. Tim the Canadian Comic Hunter. What's going on, man? How you doing? Great to see you. Good that you're here. We got DT in the house.
DT is in the house.
Yep. And then we got, oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. It was a fantastic show. Great show. Great show. Great show. And speaking of show, we hope that we have a good show for you all this evening. We're going to start this thing off. I'm going to put welcome to the show right quick. Bam. And then we're going to go to our first topic. Everybody should know by now, if you're on the internet or watching the news, HBO is doing some moving and shaking over the past week. They've been doing some things and they've been stepping on some toes, and we're going to talk about the toes they've been stepping on. So basically, as it stands right now, HBO has decided to put all of their major motion pictures on HBO Max, which is the streaming service, starting with Wonder Woman 1984, going all the way to 2021 with Doom, The Matrix 4, Mortal Kombat, which I was talking to Matt yesterday. They've been keeping that movie quiet as kept. I haven't heard anything about that Mortal Kombat movie. So apparently they're doing some moving and shaking with that. So those movies, along with Suicide Squad, are actually going to the streaming service for the HBO Max. So we're going to start off this particular panel discussion. I'm going to start off with you, Sean. How do you feel about that whole situation, man? Do you think that that's a good move for HBO, for Warner Brothers to do that? What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Well, I think it's a good move because depending on what this pandemic gives us, like, we don't know when this thing is going away. You know, with certain states going back into lockdown, you know, it's almost to the point where, you know, you don't want to keep delaying these movies because then you're constantly not making money, and you at least need to make some revenue to at least get something back. So they decided, you know, to make this first huge step. First, they announced Wonder Woman 84 was coming to HBO Max, and then after that, they like, shoot, we might as well just put the rest of our movies on HBO Max because ain't no telling what next year is going to be. You know, we all wish for 2021 to be a better year, but we don't know how it's going to end up, you know. So at least for the foreseeable future, they know that it's going to be on HBO Max. You know, where at least they'll still have them in limited theaters, but, you know, people will still be able to be at home and enjoy watching these movies on HBO Max. So I think it's a good move, you know, to make.
Okay. All right. Matt?
I think it's excellent, man. I'll just tell y'all like this, but everybody's in the chat and everybody who has grown up, especially through the 80s, this is nothing new. This is what HBO was doing years ago. HBO had everything you wanted to see before it even hit the video store. And so I think what's happening is that, you know, the experience is what got people going to the movies in the 2000s, the 90s and the 2000s. They're just the experience of the movie theater. Well, now, like Sean said, you know, we're at a crossroads. And I think HBO and Warner Brothers are ahead of the curve, because what they're doing is they're looking down the line and saying, you know what? Let's not hedge our bets on the vaccine. Let's just put it here. We'll make a money. I'm sure they've got the figures worked out, because if they didn't have the figures worked out, they wouldn't be doing it. And so they say, hey, well, let's just put all this stuff on here and people can watch it. But what I've been seeing is just people complaining like, well, why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? This is ridiculous. You know, look, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I watched Blockbuster go under. I watched Video Warehouse go under. I watched Showtime go under. I watched Allen Video down here in Macon. Watched them go under. I watched Formo go under. I remember when the Red Box showed up, people was like, "This is ridiculous. This is the stupidest thing known to man." Well, what did you start seeing over a period of time? People parking their car, going over there, getting a movie, getting a game, and heading back to their house. This is no different. this is the perfect time to start preparing for change. Now, do I think the movie theaters are ultimately going away? No. I'll throw something else out there for y'all. Why the hell is nobody? Why is AMC not investing in drive-in movie theaters right now? If it's such an issue, if there's such a problem, people complaining about this, then why do we not have drive? Look, I'm not going to go on another rant night, so I don't.
Man, hey, do what you feel, brother. I blow you up.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. But I'll tell you this, man. I think that if AMC want to alleviate this problem that they're having with people not being able to physically go inside movie theaters, which I mean, it's your prerogative if you want to go. I'm just not going to do it. Now, if Al and the guys on the panel want to go, by all means, y'all can knock yourself out. I'm not going to a movie theater. Now, if they want to say, hey, we're going to do a drive-in movie theater, I've just got off the road a couple hours ago. I saw a lot of vacant land in different places. Put a movie theater over there. Get your popcorn. Get you some Rollos or whatever else you want to eat, and go enjoy some movies. There's no excuse. HBO is doing the right thing. This is the right thing. What's the subscription fee for HBO Max? What is it? 14, 18? It's peanuts.
And that, like right now, they have like specials for it. So
yeah. It beats going to the movie theater, especially if you got a family. If you go to the movie theater with 3 kids, then you got to file income tax when you go in there. You got to carry a WP with you. Popcorn costs $10. A pickle costs $6. A Reese's cups cost $6.75, and that's just before you even get in the theater. That's before you get in there, and then that's if like Sean said a couple of weeks ago. I'm a matinee man myself, just like Sean. I'm a matinee man. I'm going at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting out of there before 4 o'clock because everything go up after 4 o'clock.
Yep.
I mean, it's a cheaper experience to sit home in the comfort of your house with your surround sound system and your 85-inch 4K TV and be able to sit down and watch Wonder Woman in peace without having to worry about somebody throwing stuff over the top of your head and cutting the food and screaming and yelling for unnecessary stuff. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Reemo?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I look at it as natural progression. I mean, we in the Bay Area we have there's drive-in theater. To me, I feel like these HBO is looking at companies like Netflix and all these other smaller studios that are basically cleaning their clock because they can actually pay people to go ahead and film their movies and submit them and still make a profit. So why not get into the same service? They got just as much money and they could probably put out a better product. Because it's going to go to the big studios are going to have to create their own bubbles to film movies. Like they're going to that going forward, they're going to have to create bubbles. Or you can't just not film movies, but they're going to have to create bubbles in order to film these movies. You know what I mean? So, I mean, why not put all your money into that? Because you're going to have to pay for doctors, different things like that, where it's going to be a different thing. So, I mean, why not? I mean, I'll pay for it if you're gonna be putting a good product on the table. Then I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, I'll pay for it. I don't want to, but I will.
Well, from what I read, Warner Brothers has decided to put all their eggs in the basket, and all 17 of their theatrical releases that were scheduled to come out in the movies is going to hit HBO Max. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a major game changer right there. And like Matt said, it's no different than back in the day because, HBO had that exclusivity pretty much with all the movie companies for the most part. It had to go through them first. And then once they had their way with it, they was like, okay, well, Blockbuster, you can go ahead and put it, on, in your stores and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I don't see no problem with it. However, you do have AMC. Currently, they are beefing with HBO Max. The AMC CEO or boss, Adam Aaron, he slams Warner Brothers, saying that they're sacrificing considerable profits. So my question to you all, and I know Matt just touched on it, do you think it's genuine concern on the part of HBO Max? Is it just greed? Do they see those dollar signs that Cream, like Wu-Tang raps about? Do they see that cream slipping through their fingers like dry dirt? So I'm gonna start with you, Reemo, on that one.
Absolutely. They right now you're cutting out the middleman.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're cutting out the middleman and you're going straight to you're taking the supply straight to the consumer. And that's what you want. You want every business wants direct to consumer. You know, that's you're all these years they've always paid these cable companies, Comcast, you know, all these people, they always take AT&T, they take from these studios in order for you to get to the public. You know what I mean? I remember in the 90s, late 90s, I was working for before the internet was really popping. Like, I worked for a company when DSL first came out. So we were installing all the DSL, and the phone company didn't want to relinquish the lines to be provisioned for the internet. It was a big power stroke because for years the phone company owned the power lines. Well, in like 98, 99, they lost the control of the power of the phone lines, whereas then the Comcast and these other companies could go provision the lines in order to carry the DSL signal. So it's always going to be a monopoly, and when they have to change hands, they're going to put up a fight, but ultimately they're going to lose. So, you know, the theaters are thinking, well, shoot, like they're not going to need us no more, because every household should have over a 40-inch television. You're going to have 4K by now. You know, even I have 4K, and it took me years, and I finally got 4K. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you don't need to go to the movie theaters if you don't have to. Every house has a home theater system. It's gonna sound good at home, and if you don't have to go into somewhere where you could potentially get sick and have to be out of $350 if you have a family of 5 or 4 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, most people are gonna want to stay home.
Yeah. So we're gonna
I'll make tacos at the house and be in the chair watching a movie with tacos. You know what I'm saying?
With some cilantro on top
You know
of it.
what
That's
I'm
what I'm talking about. So
Go
ahead, Reemo. Go ahead.
No, it's going, man.
Like I'm saying, it just makes sense, man. I mean, Netflix is kind of doing this with some of these shows. They buy them straight out and put them on the network, man. I mean,
and making them film it so that it's all profit for them. They're just buying the finished product.
It's like I said, if AMC, if the movie theaters are hurting that bad, they put up a damn drive-through. Yeah. I mean, hell, they had them in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s,
the 70s,
70s, 80s. Some of them just recently closed.
Matter of fact, not closed. They were down to 2, and they thought they was up because they closed down. They're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go indoors. Well, you lost all that land. All that land has been developed into houses, and now you can't get that back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the people who stayed true, and there's like a few of them that are still out here, all they gotta do is go put up a new screen, fix the old screen, because now they're gonna have people come in. You're not gonna be able to keep people out of there. During the summertime, those things are all year round, they're packed. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the weekends, because during the day they're either flea markets, and then at nighttime they're the movie theaters. You know what I'm saying? Because you can only watch the drive-in at night. So during the day they have outdoor flea markets. You know what I'm saying? And then at nighttime it's a movie theater. So they're gonna make a killing. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So if they're smart, though, they just do that.
Yep.
Cool.
You know.
Before we
go
ahead, Sean.
Vigilante brings up an interesting point with his 3 comments. You know, if you click from the first one where he said, personally, I prefer watching movies at home. But the one thing that bothers me with the whole thing is the international distribution. You know, you will see it on HBO Max. There is no HBO Max outside of the US. So we don't know where or how we can watch these movies yet. So that's going to be interesting, because everybody knows the HBO Max is going to be available here in America, but all the people outside of America or something, they're going to be like left out. So they're wondering, when are they going to get it? You know, who's going to have the distribution rights on internationally wise?
I think they'll have the same distribution, and they'll just have to, they'll be able to do it. They'll be able to download that same app and get it. I think that's the future. You know what I mean? Like, how can you, if you want to make money, you got to be able to make it outside of your borders. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they don't want, like, if you can get into like China, you know what I'm saying? And you got 1 billion people out there, and they all can download and watch your movies.
That's
just make it regionally where there might be certain movies they can't watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, however they want to do it, but let them be able to download that app and they'll make a killing. And I
Right.
think that's what they're trying to prevent. They don't want to be able to have to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure there'll be ways around it.
Cool. Well, we're gonna go to the chat right quick. Big ups to the Nerd Herd Comic Club from UK. Everything is going well. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. Kingdom Comment said this show might blow my brain away. I hope not, sir. I hope it remains in your cranium. DT said it's a good move for WB and HBO Max. I agree. Let's see here. Varangian VV says the animated Mortal Kombat movie was so good. I can take a bad live action one now. I don't know if it's gonna be bad, man. I mean, they've been really kind of under wraps. They, aside from that initial casting, they started like late last year. They've been really silent about this movie. And from Ed Boon, the co-creator of Mortal Kombat, he basically said that they were going to stick to the game, you know, as far as, you know, the gritty darkness. So hopefully we'll get a true to form Mortal Kombat and not Nightwolf talking about that's your animality, dude, you know, that crap, you know. But hopefully we'll get a good one. TRN Eric the Prince, good to see you. I know this cat from Columbus. Thank you for joining us. He says HBO and Warner Brothers are definitely ahead of the curve, which seems like they are. And my man, where is he? Hydro XR X is in the chat. What's up, X? He says I'll pay if it stays in my library. That's a good point.
Yeah, that would be cool too. You can get a digital copy or something.
Right, that would be real cool. And let's see. C Maddox posed a question. He says, "Do you guys feel Hollywood is finally on board with the streaming platforms?"
Yeah, I mean, I would say yeah because they're putting stuff on Netflix.
They're smart.
Yeah, I mean, if you're smart, man, I mean, you
gotta make money. If you have no direct to consumer, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's no Paramount Pictures app streaming app. So I mean, you know what I mean. You got to make your money somehow. You're gonna have to put them on. Look at Eddie Murphy. He had to sell Coming to America 2 to Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's a smart move because why would he want to go out there and try and promote and push that movie when he can? You know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Like you just go and watch the movie. Yes or no? You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be able to promote that movie. Not the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a good business move, man. And like I said, we're at a crossroads here, and if you ain't changing with the times, I don't have any pity for you, man. And as what you said, the Mortal Kombat Al can't be worse than that second Mortal Kombat. I can tell you that now. It can't be whatever it is. It can't be worse than that. And it can't be worse.
Yeah, it can't be.
So,
Annihilation was garbage, man.
Garbage.
Is money, X. Basically, that's all it's about. They worry about that money that they're not getting because they know. You know, movie theaters make the bulk of their money off of concessions. And if ain't nobody coming to the movies to pay $30 for a bag of nachos, then they missing out not only on the money that they get as a proceed of the movie actually being played, but those concession prices as well. So that's what got them in it, or AMC got them in a tizzy. So
they better watch the CEO or whoever was making the decisions at HBO. Hope they don't get clipped.
You ain't kidding. You are not kidding. What's up, Jace? What's the hold up, Disney? Hey, that's a good question. You'd think Disney would have followed suit too, especially since they got their streaming platform off the ground, and they've been off the ground for well over a year because I've had it for free for a year.
I think they're just trying to wait because they're holding back their projects because if they have to, they've already built the platform. But if not, they want to be able to maximize their money, so they want to be able to put it in the theaters if we're going to be able to go back to the theaters.
Right.
We can't go to the theaters and they're going to hold back all their projects like Netflix and release them on their own service. But if not, they're going to put them in the theaters first and then go to the service. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, do you think at some point you should say, okay, well, we know that we can maximize our profits more in the theaters because that's what they do. But if you look at case in point, Black Widow has been what? Is it supposed to come out this month or has it been pushed back even further?
It's supposed to be out in December. Wasn't it like months back?
Yeah. They kept pushing that back so many times to the point where it's like, man, you might as well just put it out, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it done lost all its steam it had, what steam it had going into it, and now, you know, just put it out and stop holding it back.
But I don't think it was going to be like this, you know, Oscar award winning movie anyway. It was another action flick, and it would have went straight to video, and it would have had its life on the streaming service. Like, it wasn't going to be like all these little girls wanting to be Black Widow. Like, it wasn't going to be that.
Yeah,
it wasn't going to be Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? It was just going to be what it was.
If movie theaters ain't careful, they're gonna go the way of Revco and Radio Shack if they ain't careful.
Revco, wow.
be selling Nick Cannon headphones at the end.
Raycon.
Yeah.
Well, I was
big on these Beat headphones, man. All you need, man.
Vigilante said, when you talk movie theater owners, they say that they are in the food business rather than the movie business, which goes back to the concessions. You know, they make all that food and stuff because they want to sell the food so people can go in and enjoy the movie. So that's a huge part of their profit that they're not getting.
I get a bag of popcorn for 89 cents.
Yeah.
They better open up a damn drive-in movie theater if they're smart. That's what they better be doing. That need to be the topic of discussion when they go to the office or when they get on the Zoom on Monday morning. We need to find land and we need to find it quick to open up a drive-in theater. Otherwise, our ass is going to be washing cars, a mobile car washing dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it is what it is. None of us have any stake in it because, you know, we're not rich. We don't own any movie theaters. It's just
we're all consumers, though.
That's true. But I mean, I'm speaking from a vantage point of, for me, I know what's going to be practical for me. Yeah. If I see movies coming out on HBO Max that I want to see, I'm going to subscribe to that service. It's just plain and simple. I don't have to deal with no newborn babies 3 rows up above me hollering and screaming and stuff. I don't have to worry about nobody on their phone trying to Mac and all. I ain't got to worry about none of that. I ain't got to worry about getting some Junior Mints and paying $28 for a box that I can get from Kroger for $1.
Plus, you can pause the movie and go to the bathroom.
Right. You don't miss nothing.
I'll tell you now.
On a little something and ain't got to worry about somebody pouring it out.
That's right.
Yep. You standing on the line for concessions and stuff, and you ain't got to worry about annoying ass kids in front of you or back of you. You know, just getting on your nerves.
When the kids get annoying, you can send them to their room.
On your room. I watch TV. The Nerd Comic says, I'd be interested to know what percentage of ticket price actually goes to movie theaters and how much the theater takes. That I don't know, but I will tell you this because I work in. Most folks know I'm a photographer, and I worked on a set of a TV show, and a couple of guys just came off of a movie, and they're filming these movies with the intention of them coming out next year. So that should kind of give you an idea that something, you know, this conversation is going to be coming up again several times in the next couple of months. You know, theaters you got to pay these crews. You got to pay these people for working. You rent locations that you got to pay for. You got to get the filming done because you've already allotted the money for the location. You paid the permits and all that. You're filming something to get it put out somewhere. Somebody gonna watch stuff. We know that.
The ROI, man.
You got to get the ROI, man.
That's what it is.
Xavier said redo stadium seating to accommodate social distancing. Open up more stadiums to cash in. They may not want to do that.
Yeah, I don't even think that might be an option in some places. They kicked the 49ers out of here and told them they got to go play football in Arizona for 2 months or for a month. The next 2 games they got to play in Arizona. So if they're gonna tell the NFL you're not gonna make no money, and the NFL had to improvise, it's gonna be the same. Movie theaters gonna have to do the same thing. Like Matt said, they've been making money hand over fist for the last 40, 50 years. They can invest in some land and to offset their balances to go and open some drive-in theaters if they really want to pay. If the studio still want to make money like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is. It's gonna come down to a situation where you're gonna ask the customers, do you want to risk your life to go watch a movie? If that's what it is, do you want to risk your life, or would you rather go in your own under your own circumstances and watch it at home, or be in a carload with your own bubble at the movie theater? You know what I'm saying? Watching the movie. Then that's what you got to do. You got to accommodate that change in the lifestyle of people. You know, people aren't comfortable going to movie theaters no more. So guess what? Movie theaters, you're gonna have to redo your business plan. Your business model have to change.
I mean, if they don't get it right in the next 6 months, man, then that, you know, they'll be right in line with Blockbuster Video.
I feel the same way, VVM, man. I'm bummed out about that. I wanted to see that at the movie theater.
To my Doom?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies, man. I wanted to see how they were gonna. I was kind of, I didn't want to get my hopes up too high, but now that I know it's coming out on HBO Max, that's the bar set low. So it's like, they can edit it differently, like everything. So,
is anyone? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not even really looking forward to it coming out at this point.
Is anyone reading the comic?
I have it. I just haven't got
the new one or the old one.
The new one.
Okay, no, I'm not reading it.
I still haven't read the second issue.
Yeah.
How's the first?
I still gotta read. The first one was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't something, that it's a lot of words and a lot of narration, but I liked it. But I still need to read the second issue. But I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I just need to go read it.
I think they will. I think you could just kind of tag those along, still tag along the actual movie when it comes on, when it debuts. You can still.
That's just gonna be they're just gonna promote social media heavy with their sponsorships and the, like you said, the movie title's gonna have their own Instagram and all that, and they're just gonna flood their Instagrams with the movie clips and everything. People are gonna watch it. I mean, people will watch whatever movie they're gonna want to watch, and they'll get their money back. But I think it's gonna be the greed factor. How much money is enough, for them? Do they just want to get the ROI? Do they want to make a little bit of profit? Do they want to make tons of profit? Like, it's depends on how much they got to make back for the movie.
Hashtags are gonna go crazy for real.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Bonkers. DT says Hollywood gives the movie theater 45% of every ticket sold, and the studio that created the movie gets 55%. That's fair.
Fair, but I would think that if I'm paying for it and I'm getting it filmed and everything, that's cool. But I would rather sell it up front and get my money up front. Like, I don't want to wait for the sales, because what if people don't go? I'd set my price, and if you need it, you get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to split tickets. I don't want to get the bar and you get the door. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that if I'm a movie studio. Because like Matt said, you got to pay those people already. So once we submit the movie, you give me half up front, and then when I submit the movie and you take it, I want the rest of my money. I don't want to pay. I don't want to wait for pay stubs or ticket stubs to get my money.
Now I'm jiving with this right here, and I think we talked about that yesterday, Matt. Especially with DC. I mean, DC. This is opportune time for DC to get back on that DC cinematic universe and try to put out some movies, man. So I don't know why they're not striking while the iron is hot, but who knows?
Don't they have an app too? DC has an app, right?
Well, I thought the DC was assimilated into the HBO Max, because everything that was on the DC streaming site is now on HBO Max.
So yeah, that's time for it to kick it up, because then they got a whole bunch of people who weren't into it before that would be into it now because they have free access.
Yep.
Comics are the perfect form of entertainment in such a situation, as is our next topic. And this is funny to me. We're going to go over some PS5 news. On the biggest thing that came out this week was that Call of Duty. What's the name of it? Let's see here. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is bricking PS5s. Bricking them.
Like, how are we saying that when we put it in and it loads up, it kills the whole system?
It's from what I've read, it's been doing a whole bunch of stuff. It's either telling them, look, man, it's a wrap, bro. You just wasted $500 for nothing. And then sometimes it actually messes with the OS, where it causes the system to reboot and come back online. But then I've read that some people are having issues where after they reboot their PS5 altogether, like the dudes did in Enter the Dragon. We talked about this.
I'd be hot.
X says it's glitched in Xbox as well.
A word? Okay, so it's the game.
Let me say something.
All Duty's played out, man.
Let me say something. Call of Duty destroying anything does not surprise me. Sean just alluded to it. You want to talk about a washed up franchise, man? That franchise is the equivalent of Evander Holyfield trying to come back in box right now, man. I'm talking like you straight trash. That franchise is doo-doo on a stick on a 99-degree day. This can this doesn't surprise me one bit. And they release half-ass games anyway, so it doesn't surprise me that they probably put something in there that's coded the way it's screwing up everything. Call of Duty should just shut it down anyway this year. See, I didn't even acknowledge it, but since we're talking about this in these systems, I'll go ahead and say something. Call of Duty should have just stopped 3 years ago. You say, you know what? We'll go to Battlefield route. Battlefield is released a handful of games over an extended period of time. Call of Duty every 6 months to a year. It's a new Call of Duty game. And then they roll this out here. See if we got Vigilante. He understands. Anybody that's been playing video games for the last 10 years know Call of Duty is trash. Trash upon trash. The trashy of the trash. The icky of the sticky. The shitty of the shitty. So So if they're having this issue with this, what we have to watch now is to watch to see if any other games are causing this problem. Yeah. That's what you gotta watch for now. Because then if you're having games that come out and they're having problems, more other games, then we've got a system issue.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to our other discussion that we had before about these systems coming out.
Rushing to get them out.
Rushing to get them out, man. You're not putting them through qualitative analysis. They haven't, going through quality control, checking to see what's wrong with these systems, man. And everybody on this panel has had enough. I didn't have one, but I heard enough from everybody, from most folks I know about them, about those caskets with the 360. So nobody wants to have to go through that kind of stuff, man. And with the PlayStation, we had the blue light of death. So we didn't have these problems. At least I don't remember having these kind of problems back when Nintendo came out. Back in
that right there. When you need a fucking patch on a new game, day one, and you got this huge ass patch that's eating up your fucking data on the console itself, it's like that is the worst. I can't stand that shit.
I mean, why are y'all releasing games that ain't finished? Cyberpunk should not. When Cyberpunk come out next week, there should not be a day one patch for that game, because they moved that game back 10 times. They moved it back over and over and over. So I don't want to hear this shit come next week talking about a patch on day one. Like Sean said, that shit drive me crazy, man. You get a game, you drove over to the store, you go to GameStop. You really don't want to be fucking with GameStop. You really don't want to go in there because we all hate GameStop. You don't want to go in there, and then you get the game, and then you come home. And then you got to play a game that's in a sense a damn beta. As Maddox said, they don't even make complete games anymore. No, because they know people are gonna go buy this shit, and that's sad. That's the sad part. The sad reality is that little Johnny's gonna get his mom to go buy that game regardless of the fact. and then you're gonna get that game, and that game is gonna be an add-on. You have to pay extra $29.95 for season 2 for the season 1 pass, and then after season 1, they're gonna give you enough to make you go get season 2, and then after you get season 2, you're gonna get season 3. Well, by the time you get to that, then you say, okay, we'll get season 4, but after that, they say, well, we're done with this. We're gonna come out with the Ultimate Edition that's gonna have everything that you already paid for a great price of $29.93.
Tell you, man, my daughter's asking me for a new upgrade or a new game every couple of months, man. on the Switch, man. The Switch is playing cool because they give you a game and it's good for a year or two, and they'll have a little bit of DLC, and then they're done. Then they'll move to a next game. But I'll be seeing there's all kinds of. They said they weren't going to release another Red Dead Redemption. They were just going to concentrate on the DLC.
Bro, you know how much tape I had on my Game Boy because the back case of the battery holder came out? Lost that shit, and we had to tape that shit on the back. That's patching it up, not a fucking game install, man.
Keeping
like Jay said, the patch size is bigger than most game installs.
Yep.
Hey, fellas, there was no such thing as a patch on Nintendo. There was no such thing as a patch on Super Nintendo. There was never such thing as a patch on the Sega Genesis. This is bullshit. This is guys that are just rushing out games, man. This is all it stems from is for greed. We gotta get these games out. We gotta get them out, man. If God of War, I always say with God of War and Grand Theft Auto, those are two games I don't want them rushed out. Yeah. Take 5 years if you got to put that game out.
Well, let me say this: Rockstar is just sitting on their asses, milking off of Grand Theft Auto 5, bro. They don't even put out no other games no more.
Nope.
Yeah, they said they weren't. Like I said, they said they weren't going to get another Red Dead Redemption. They said they were just going to concentrate on DLC. Like they'll just. I mean, they released 2 games: Red Dead 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5, and the remaster or master version of LA Noire. But other than that, like, I know Jace would be like, "Where's Midnight Club at? Where's some of the other properties that they had?" Yeah, they don't even concentrate on them no more. They only have those 2 platforms, and that's all they need. They're making all their money off of it.
Yeah. And he said the problem with old school games is they were broken, they stay broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the cartridge back, man. You know what you're getting with that.
Not even that, but I mean, you think about it. Like, I'm a prime example: the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tournament fighter. That game was broken as hell, but at the same time, you learn how to deal with it. You adapt it. That was the name of the game back then.
You could actually play the damn game. That's the thing about it. You
could that too, right?
You could actually play the damn game regardless. I mean, Fester's quick. I mean, Fester, all that bullshit. You know, more than games, some of the game, Kung Fu. Y'all know that stupid game, game that was just completely, rough as hell, man. But you could play the game. These games are coming out, bro, and you can't even cut the damn system on.
Yeah, a lot of that bad boy for the whole day.
look at that Raw game that came out for the Xbox, man. That WWF game that came out for the Xbox. You remember that? Y'all remember that? The one that TC, I tell that famous story about TC. He said if you could put shit in this cartridge and it's still the same thing that's on this video game system. He said it would be no different than what y'all playing, what you playing. And that's the problem. That's the problem, man. And see, I think this has been going on for years with these games, man. And so now it's reached a fever pitch because people are putting up with it. Listen, anybody in this chat room that play Madden know what the hell I'm talking about.
Man, I've been stopped playing Madden, man. That's another game that comes out every year. It's just a minor update from the previous year and have bugs. It's like they don't even put no work in it, man.
No, because they know
they just change the rock.
Because what they're going to do is they know that the NFL players are gonna get the game. It's so pop culture now that people are gonna buy that just because it's mad. Guys like us that have been playing games for years and have seen the highest of the high. We've seen the 2Ks of the world, and then you see these games come out where you got defenders jumping through folks, jumping out of the stadium. Those are patchy
coming from the sideline to make the tackle.
Yeah, I mean,
yo, there was a funny ass. I know Jace could attest to this. He sent me the video. there was a funny ass play with I think the Lions on Madden, Lions playing Steelers, right? The quarterback threw a pass, right? Oh no, he didn't throw the pass. The ball got kicked, you know, and the ball landed into the defender's hand, and he ran it all the way back to the touchdown. And that was so fucking broken that the ball was kicked. It wasn't even supposed to be kicked. It was supposed to be thrown, but it was kicked. And it got intercepted. Somebody, man, Jace could explain it better, but that shit was horrible, man.
I've broken 2 controllers playing FIFA, man.
What's up, Chris?
What's happening?
What's up, Chris? I can tell you from experience, man. I have broken 2 controllers playing FIFA because of these damn glitches, man. And to this day, won't pick it up, man. Will not pick it up until they can do something else, man. That's better than what they putting out, man. They can pour both of those franchises back up the horse's ass.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something real. This is the thing that I have problems with. Why in the gray hell does a sports game come out every year? These game systems have proven to us that they can put a damn near brand new game on your hard drive. If you have the original disc, they can put whatever they want to put on that game. Why is it that you have to buy, and this goes for basketball, baseball, football, even wrestling games? Why is it that you have to buy a game every year? All they got to do is put a patch out, charge $20, $25 for it, put the new roster on there, new athletes, wrestlers, the whole 9, new, if it's a wrestling game, new venues, Starcade, what's that big ass the game that was stacked on top of each other. What was it, Matt? The War Games.
You talking about WCW Mayhem?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that. If you want to do that, they can do all of that via patches, but it's greed, man.
Yeah, it's all greed.
It's greed.
Go ahead, Sean. I'm not Sean, but Chris.
Yeah, I was listening on the way home, on the way here, and just heard y'all talking. I was like, I gotta get home. I gotta get in on this.
He's like, hit the telephone pole because struck a nerve.
I gotta get in because, all right. So it's a twofold thing for me because one, because I'm a longtime gamer. I've been playing since my dad bought me an Atari 5200. You know, and he had a 26. Like I've been playing video games for forever. But also, I went to school for a little while, so I learned a little bit on the ins and outs. And so, to answer your question now, this may be my rant, like Matt's last week. But to answer your question now, the reason they do it is, like you said, it is greed. It's because they want to sell. It's no longer, when it comes to sports games, it's no longer just a game so much as it is a brand. It is a product. Madden isn't just a football game or a football franchise. It is the football franchise when it comes to football video games. You know what I'm saying? Like if you make the cover of Madden, you are, for lack of a better term, the man, because you are the star on the cover of Madden. Now there's the downside to that because there's the Madden curse. Everybody who's been on the cover of Madden ends up getting injured and being out the rest of that season. But that's beside the point. But it's that level of status, and then they want to be able to sell you. I personally feel that sports games is where video games went wrong. The DLCs that they put out for sports games, charging people $5-10 for away team colors, when I done already bought the game and I got all the teams on the game, but then you gonna charge me per team. You charge me $5 per team, not even just like a DLC pack. I get the whole team. I get the whole roster. I got to buy the Falcons. I got to buy the 49ers. And I got to buy the Saints. I got to buy everybody on the team in the game away team colors. And then I got to buy extra for the stadiums. And then I got to buy for the cheerleaders uniforms. And all this other stuff. Sports games ruined video games. Sports games and Call of Duty first-person shooters ruined video games because we as consumers kept buying it. They would give us a broken product, and then we kept buying it. 2 different companies were making Call of Duty at one point in time. 2 different companies, and both of them put out a broken game. And every year, people just kept buying Call of Duty.
Like sheep.
And I can't blame them. When it comes to getting a hustle on, why am I going to fix it if you're going to keep buying it?
Exactly.
So on that aspect, I don't blame them. But at the same time, what happened to pride in your product? You know you putting out crap.
You know, it got to be where people knew that all they had to do was wait the other year to get the good one.
Right. People just waited for it. There it is. People just waited for the good company to put out a good Call of Duty. The only problem is nobody ever put out a good sports games. All they did was just go, well, let's do NCAA. And then NCAA started putting out crap basketball games. But you ever notice that doesn't happen with any other sports? It's just basketball and it's just football. You don't hear about a million different versions of any kind of baseball games. And FIFA. I'm sorry, and soccer. Because, in the rest of the world, that's football. And that's the only game that's important to everybody else.
Right.
But that's what happens. We keep buying it. And don't nobody ever want to go ahead and go, I'm not buying this crap from y'all no more because I don't want this. I'm not paying. PS5 and Xbox X cost damn near $700. You want to charge me $70 a game, and then you want to have the nerve to give me a third of a video game? Man, I'll come to your house and punch your mama.
Damn.
And can I tag team in there with you, brother? Can I tag team in there with you, man? Let me tell you something, man. And then what makes it even worse, you talk about that, then you have on top of that, you have franchises like Street Fighter that come out with these games, and then you turn around and you buy that Street Fighter. What was it, 5? What was it, 5? That 5, that Albatross,
Alpha Turbo.
Yeah, you come out with one version, and then 6 months later, 2 months later, it's a new version. 4 months later, it's another version, and then it's an ultimate version. And then if you be patient enough, 3 months later, that same version that you paid at the top dollar one for will be $15.
Yeah.
NetherRealm Studios and Mortal Kombat are the ones who are most guilty of doing that. Kombat 10. Let's take 10 and 11. They put out Mortal Kombat 10. And they was like, hey, if you buy the season pass, you can get all these really cool characters that we're putting out. So on top of the $60 for the game, we're going to charge you $30 for the season pass. So you're going to give us $90, and it's going to take us a year and a half to give you 6 new characters. But as it turns out, we're going to also make some, like they did with 11. They made for the first time ever, they added this extra story that wasn't covered by the season pass mysteriously. So then you also have to buy that. And then finally, last month, they came out with the Ultimate Edition of Mortal Kombat 11 that has all the characters and the extra stuff added onto it. But then as soon as it was released, what happened? It was leaked that it turns out there might be some more characters added to the game after the fact. Because I was going to buy the Ultimate Edition of 11. Because I'm like, finally. Because that's what I did with 10. I paid $10 and got everything. And that was that. But I'm not going to buy 11 now if you're talking about you want $30 and then you're going to tell me, oh, turns out we're going to release 6 more characters even though we don't release the Ultimate Epic Edition of this game. And no, man, come on, get off it. Another round. That's.
Remember when Capcom pulled that bullshit with Street Fighter X Tekken?
Yep.
And they had those characters locked away.
Yep.
And it's like, wait a minute now, if you get the PS Vita version, they available. And I'm like,
there it is.
And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And these motherfuckers was behind a paywall. I'm like, yo, this whole season pass shit, this whole, oh, you want these extra characters? They behind the paywall, but they already on the fucking disc. Remember back in the days when we had to beat the game to unlock characters? They said, "Nah, we want money, bro.
We want money.
You got to pay us extra." And I'm like, I'm not fucking with y'all no more, man. Because Street Fighter's been doing this shit since the '90s when they came out with Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Championship System, Street Fighter Arcade. I'm like, when the fuck? Me and my brother was talking about this shit. Like, they still on Street Fighter 5, man. And yet, King of Fighters is on the 15th fucking installment.
Yep. Killer Instinct was just as bad. When Killer Instinct came out 2 years ago, Killer Instinct came out with a 40-character roster. When you bought the game, you got 5 characters. And you had to buy the rest of the roster. You couldn't even just unlock it. I was so mad.
Oh, man. Play that.
Let me say something here, man. Let me say something.
Glory.
I'm an avid Overwatch player. And I'm here to tell you, all that bullshit that we've seen with some of these franchises is absolute horseshit because Overwatch has released a free character over a 4, 5, 6 year period. True enough, they have their issues with the guys online, the cheaters or what have you.
The
But
microtransactions.
but no microtransactions unless you want to buy that shit. Unless you want to buy it, it's there. The greed in video gaming is something special, man. It is absolutely horrible at how bad it's gotten, man. You know, you used to get video game systems with 2 controllers. You used to have all the shit with it. Now you break that apart. You got to go find this to get that to play this to equal this. Then you on top of that you get the games. You're launching game systems with 3 games. You know, back in the day, you had a list of games you can go play. The system is turned upside fucking down. Upside fucking down. It has been tombstoned.
Especially when SOCOM was free to play online.
Oh man.
Hey man, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, man, when we get to talk, y'all start talking about FIFA, you talking to somebody that was internationally ranked in FIFA. I turned my ass to that game system with FIFA. I said, fuck this shit. I'm done. I'm through. Out. I am cashing the chips in. I'm done with it, man. You know what, man? It's only a handful of games I play now, man. Because I'm not getting suckered into this shit. And Call of Duty shit, man. I'll just wait till y'all put it on Steam for $2.96. And then I'll deal with it. I'm not buying. That's another thing. I'm not buying games day one like that no more, man. Because I'm buying these games, like Sean said earlier, games on day one, shit already wrong with.
Yep.
It is already wrong. For a game I've already waited for y'all to get out over 6 months. 6 months to a year.
Y'all done spent 5 years working on a game, and then day one at launch, and I got a 30 gig update patch the day it come out.
You got then we got guys filling up their game system already, man. Folks filling up the fucking SSD drives already. Oh well, shit! Y'all didn't realize that the games was gonna be 100 gigs before y'all threw them out there.
Nope.
Come on, man. The least they could have did was gave people on some of these systems 2 terabytes, man. That's the least they could have done.
You can get a 2 terabyte. You just got to buy one. You got to buy the extra terabyte hard drive. It's all about that cash, man.
They can pull that back up the horse's ass too.
Yeah, remember back when video games, when you bought a system, that's all there was to the system. That was just you bought a Sega Genesis. It came with 2 controllers, and that was it. There wasn't nothing else you needed to get.
But except for a cartridge, that's all.
Right, except for the game.
Yeah, but Chris, you know what? Even then, man, you still could have went down to Babbage's Roses or
EB Games.
And get you a game. You had games that you can go out and buy. With these systems, man, you playing shit from the old system.
Yeah, and you know what's another thing is the games back in the day, because there was no like multiplayer in terms of online shit and all this, they had replayability. You know how many times me and my brother played Streets of Rage?
Man,
we played the fuck out of that game, man.
Like we can play that.
Classic.
Yeah, and Sonic. You know, we played Sonic multiple times. We even used the cheat codes: up, down, left, right, start. Go to any level we want. Beat the game, and then say, "Man, I love this game, so I'll play it again in a few days." Or invite friends over. And,
I still play Streets of Rage.
Oh, I love it, man. I love Streets of Rage.
I've got it on my Xbox because me and my brother play Streets of Rage 4 on our Xbox.
Look at me. Why y'all think Cuphead was such a fucking success? Why y'all think that game was such a big success?
Hey, Al.
Yeah, simple, yeah.
I'm gonna send the link. We're gonna get another guy in here.
Okay.
Hey man.
Yeah, Cuphead was simple, it was straightforward, and there was nothing else to it. You got a whole game. Yeah, which is such a rare thing nowadays.
No patch, no day one patch, no nothing.
Yes, the Vigilante is right.
Hey, y'all saw that shit with that Avengers game that just came out.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
That trash.
Dang, what's up, bro? Y'all see this?
Update.
Yeah. And that's my birthday. I will be accepting PayPal on that day. So
43 update. That's crazy, man.
But you know why though? It's got to have that 43 gig update because they've pushed back Cyberpunk 2077 so many times now, and they finally were like, it's actually coming out this time. They don't have a choice. They have to put a day one patch on it because they can't keep working on it no more. They got to release it now. If they plan, it's kind of like Wonder Woman 1984. If they want to try to make any money on this, they got to put it out. Mm-hmm. They pushed themselves back so much that they are forced to put out an incomplete game when they keep telling you, oh, we're delaying the game to make it better for you. Man, you know what? At this point, I don't care if I put it in and all I get is a start title. Give me back my money.
Yeah,
hey, man, they're gonna put it back on Wonder Woman 84 too. That's gonna come out on HBO Max with
but they did it smart though. They were like, you know what?
No.
Warner Brothers.
What I'm saying is that's gonna have a day one patch too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll be a DLC to get the shield scenes.
Yeah.
That's not enough. That 43 gigs, yeah, that is a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I got that and been playing. It's 43 and some change on my hard drive right now. That's a whole game from Ubisoft. They talk about it's just an update. That's ridiculous. And it don't come out to a friend of mine. And the thing is, the game itself is a 60 gigs.
That doesn't make sense, man.
So the game is 60 gigs, and then I got a 43 gig update the day before it come out.
But they only give you a terabyte in the new system, which is actually partitioned the way you don't get the full terabyte. You only get about maybe 800 gigs or so.
Depends on the system you get. If you got a PS5, you're only getting about 6. If you're getting an Xbox, you're getting maybe 8.
Can you add it?
Yeah, you can add it. They're counting on you to buy an external.
Oh, okay.
That's it. They want you to get those 4 or 5 terabyte hard drives.
Well,
to add the storage, man.
Well, you know the PlayStation now. Y'all, it ain't like y'all think it is, man. You have to buy those new SSD.
Yes, drives. It is, Vigilante.
Yeah.
The expensive ones. They're like down there $200, man.
Yeah. 70 gigs.
Thank God I got a PC.
That sounds like
Thank God I got a PC.
Games. At least 70 gigs. That's a
I had to buy a whole computer just to play one game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You have to buy a whole computer just to play one game. What's on there? Just Cyberpunk.
Right.
That's all. It's my Cyberpunk laptop. That's all I play on it.
I think go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, Reemo.
It's like that with the Switch. Like my daughter's Switch. Like I buy the games and I just download them on there. You got to buy the little hard drive or the little SD card in order to have enough space to put on.
The man, the myth, the legend.
There he is.
Making my first appearance on here, bro.
All around table discussion. This is Jace, the video game man.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
I heard y'all passionate rants are going on, man. And y'all so right, man, because I got tired of Madden and NBA 2K bullshit. Especially, I lost interest in NBA 2K mostly because of the NBA itself. So my interest in NBA as a whole fell off to the point that I started playing NBA 2K. But Madden bullshit, they just keep releasing the same old piece of shit game with just pretty much an updated roster. It gets more buggier and buggier every game. Goddamn game. I mean, this year Madden is the most glitched Madden game of all time. Yep. And I think it's the lowest rated Madden game of all time. I'm like, man, and people still buy this shit. And like he's what's they say? People are gonna buy these games all the damn time. Yo, and most people buy it either play it for with their friends. They don't even buy it more for play for their own experience. They buy it to play for their friends.
Yeah, to play online and stuff.
Yeah, you know what?
But you know what, folks, they have pigeonholed these folks into the sheep will go buy this game. I'm telling you, man, it's just like some Jim Jones type shit.
Oh man, everybody done drank the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid, and then they go buy this, and it's like drones. Like you try to explain to folks, you tell them, you say, "Hey man, this is the same game that came out last year, man." All they did was add a new pair of cleats on Patrick Mahomes. Oh yeah, man, but they've got the new
The cleats are red this year though.
And,
Yeah.
jerseys and that's it. That's all they do.
His shoes. Now his cleats can be red or black.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what they're doing. It's marginal updates, and I've always been a proponent of, hey, charge me $20 to update the game with new rosters and whatever, and I'll do that. But don't charge me $79.99 in the middle of a goddamn pandemic talking about this.
When I saw that Call of Duty was going to be $70, like Call of Duty was never worth $50 at launch. It was never worth $50. I'm like, are you kidding?
Man, everybody on this panel had a Nintendo 64. I would assume just about everybody on this panel had a Nintendo 64.
Yep.
Those games came out for $79.99.
$74.99.
Nobody didn't bat a damn word. Why? Because you was playing quality shit.
Yep.
You knew it was top of the line. You knew that you was ready to roll when the game dropped day one. These folks are charging damn near $100, and up was depending on what edition you buy, damn near $200 for a game that is coming out that had even been put to the test.
And now that Nintendo's for the N64, a lot of their prices vary because a lot of the games wasn't even $70. There was some games that were $50 and $60.
Yeah.
But like the big time Nintendo exclusives, they were $74 and they were well worth it.
Yep.
And the touchback on Vigilante said earlier, Nintendo comes with the seal of approval. So you were guaranteed, especially on those Nintendo exclusives, to get quality games and quality gameplay.
Wow.
Yep. I don't hit it. You know what? I might be wrong. Somebody in the chat, somebody on this panel, y'all can correct me. Now that Sean brought that up, I don't hear these kind of complaints about Mario Kart when they come out. I don't hear these kind of complaints about Zelda. I don't hear these kind of complaints.
But all right, let me play devil's advocate.
But they do have patch. They have patch.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a moment. You don't hear about those complaints when Nintendo games come out because, for the most part, Nintendo fanboys have also drunk the Kool-Aid.
Okay,
they all will feel that Nintendo can do no wrong. Because let's not forget, Nintendo had people buying cardboard to play a video game.
See, my daughter has.
I like you.
She's only 8, so like I buy the games for her and she plays it, and I don't even play it in the least bit. She never has a complaint.
Me and Jace talk about this all the time. When it comes to Nintendo fanboys, they are the most diehard loyalists, but yet them motherfuckers like we used to talk about the old YouTubers like Shoki and Doc Trey and Black Peak and Baron. These motherfuckers will defend Nintendo to the end of time. You know, I'm talking Nintendo Defenders of the Year. They were just people talk about
that man will go hard. You say one little thing about Nintendo, he's all over your ass.
All over it.
But when the Wii U came out and fell, that man was nowhere to be found.
He was
quiet. That man was quiet.
Terrible.
Can't defend a bad system, man.
What's happened over a period of time is that the video game culture and community has lost its simplicity.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so right now I think it's at a fever pitch. I think you've got people who have been playing for 30, 40 years, in some cases, some folks even 50, you know, going back to ColecoVision and all that. They've been playing for years, and then now you're seeing, you know, people are paying more but getting less.
Mm-hmm.
And people are getting tired of it, you know. But like I said, until people decide to vote with their wallet, which is what some folks are doing, you know.
Investment. Look at it.
I mean, yeah.
I only buy games that I have high expectations. Like somebody was telling me about with Game Pass and all that. Look, even with Game Pass, I don't even play none of the games on half the games that's on Game Pass, especially like the smaller titles. I could care less about them because I have no interest in them. But like somebody told me, oh, you can play CHRTD on it. I have no interest in CHRTD. I don't even play for free. Yo, I don't play any games that I have no interest in playing for. Like people talk about this damn what's the Switch game that came out this year?
Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I see people praise that game, and when I look at people play that game, like
it's
I
for kids.
find myself playing this game, man.
It's for kids, man.
That game is a game of the year contender. Like,
Yeah, that's for the babies, man.
Uh-huh.
But now you got some grown ass dudes, man, older than me.
People talking about that game, saying that's
Loving it.
awesome game. I look at that game, man. I just can't play it.
It's some kids stuff. I be watching. She be like, you gotta watch me, and she's over here fishing, and I'm just like, that ain't.
Hey,
fishing.
man. Let me build my soapbox right quick.
I'll play a real fishing game, like you know what I'm saying, a real deep sea fishing or some trout or something, But when it's just literally over here throwing it into the water and pulling out a fish, I'm like,
that's not fishing.
Hey, let me
I really don't. I don't
Hey,
play the game. I just can't see myself playing.
The fishing game that we used to play was that Sega Bass fishing. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I still got mine.
Let me tell you something, man. We talk about football. We talk about, man, this is something we all got in common here. When was the last time we had a fucking good wrestling game? When was the last time we seen that?
On the Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I mean, that's been over 20 years.
Hey, look at this comment, y'all.
Yeah. That's all.
He tells no lies.
Yep.
Yeah, WCW.
WCW Revenge, no mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Yeah.
That was it. And here comes the pain. And
that was probably the last best wrestling.
Here Come the Pain was the last one.
Here Comes the Pain. That's the one I want to make. That was the last one. Here Comes the Pain.
How on earth?
Arcade, the wrestling game at the arcade. Remember that?
A lot of people never played that, man.
WWF.
WrestleFest.
Yeah, WrestleFest, exactly.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Oh yeah, man. That was, those were the glory days. And then
you had the tag team, you had the Big Boss, man. You could do tag team or single,
yeah.
And now they roll out, the last couple of SmackDowns, man. I have heard horror stories, especially the last one.
E2K's been
What? I mean, the old wrestling game had they had a analog, and they had the D-pad, and you had two buttons.
Yeah, that
in the L and R. How fucking simple how hard can it be to make a game where you just do a grapple, a power move, a kick, and a punch?
But the thing that happened is wrestling games, when it walked away from being much like what Vince McMahon did to wrestling, they walked away from being about the actual wrestling. Yeah. And wrestling games started focusing on trying to be role-playing games, allowing the player to create their own wrestler and to create storylines, and for your wrestler to move up through the ranks from being a jobber to being, to hold a title belt and all this other stuff. And them trying to incorporate that kind of stuff to the game took away from the core of what people played wrestling games for. And that was to wrestle, to actually have good wrestling matches with the wrestlers you see on TV. Because we've all had those. I want to know who'd win between Ric Flair and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, you know what? I can do that now. But they walked away from They walked away from that, and that's what video games are losing their core audience because they're forgetting what people actually want. I play video games to escape, to relax. You don't need to make me a game that's basically a virtual real world. I don't want to be in the real world right now. That's why I'm playing that. I bought this 65-inch TV and this $400 video game system and this $60 video game and this $70 controller so I can not deal with actual people. Mm-hmm. I didn't spend all this money to keep dealing with real people. I would like to deal with virtual people. And unfortunately, they took that too far because multiplayer is also another thing that ruined video games. When they decided that every video game needed a multiplayer aspect, when Assassin's Creed got a multiplayer, that's when I knew it was downhill.
They shrunk the story modes in these fucking games is to say, let's put all our attention on multiplayer, and the story is irrelevant. Whatever story mode we have, we'll make that like a 5-hour game. You run through that shit, go straight to multiplayer. And Jace can attest to this. We've seen guys talk about video games. They get those games that got multiplayer, and they say, I'm going straight for multiplayer. Fuck
don't
story
even play
mode.
The story no more. Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't need it. You go straight to the multiplayer.
I remember when Call of Duty, when the story mode for Call of Duty would take you 15 to 20 hours to beat the game. Now you can beat the story mode in any Call of Duty in about 4.5 to 5 hours.
The whole world is 5 to 6 hours, and that's on normal. Right.
And most people don't even do that. They get the game and they go straight to playing zombies multiplayer.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, Ed, you got that new Call of Duty? Yo, jump on the multiplayer, bro. I just brought it, man. I'm ready to jump on there and play multiplayer, son.
And
like,
that's all they do.
I'm gonna pick up my. I was like, come on, man.
If I see another goddamn first-person shooter with a fucking zombie mode on it, I'm gonna fucking lose my damn mind.
Man,
I hate zombies. Black Ops, that's zombies.
Oh, you have a dedicated genre for that shit. You got Days Gone. You got the Walking Dead game.
Sleeping Dead.
You got the Walking Dead. You got all that shit, man. I don't need zombies in Call of Duty. That it doesn't even make sense. Call of Duty is struggling itself to make sense. So I don't need you to add something else in there that's convoluted. And anybody that's played World at War know that Call of Duty had no fucking dogs. I don't know if y'all remember fucking dogs that you know, and you couldn't do shit with them. You know, they had to, you know, they come out, release the hounds, and here they come, you know, and they will just completely fuck everything up. Call of Duty is a game that just got convoluted with a bunch of bullshit. And then in this not this one here, but the one before this, they put special moves in the fucking game. Fucking special moves in a first-person shooter. That's not like Overwatch. No, they say, well, Overwatch does it, we'll do it too. No, I don't need that shit in Call of Duty, man. But like I said,
they have so many ideas. Advanced Warfare try so hard to be Titanfall. Like, I just play Titanfall. Why the hell am I playing this shit here in Call of Duty? Like, what is this? Then they've gone in the future. Then they want to go back to the past. Like, can y'all just stick with a formula? And this is why I'm saying I was gonna say in the comments about Battlefield. Battlefield fell miserably this past generation, to overseas Call of Duty. Because you had don't even get started with EA with their bullshit.
Man,
games though for Dead Space to do a Battlefield hardline game. That bullshit, that right there. Like, are you serious? You pretty much killed Viscera right there. You gonna have them do a Battlefield game instead of them doing a new IP or a fourth Dead Space game or a reboot of the Dead Space. That right there was a fail. But and now people say that Battlefield 4 is great, but not for me. Because
no.
Battlefield 4 on the PS4. That was one of my launch games I got on the PS4 launch day. And that game was a disaster. I'm talking about from the multiplayer, bugging out, glitching all over the place, and the single player killing off my save data 2 fucking times. I had to trade that game in 2 weeks later. And I feel like, man, what the fuck?
That's horrible. That's
now Alson over here quiet. But see, I know him now for over 20 years. He would start laughing when I say this shit. I know him for over 20 years. If back in the day, if a game was pew don't shit,
I'm getting my money full back for that shit.
The game would come back the same day.
Yeah.
Babbitt just got tired of seeing my black ass like
the same day.
Yeah.
I watched it buy a game, turn around in 30 minutes, and have it right back in the store.
Yep.
But you know, there are people that do that. I have a couple of friends that work the GameStop. There are people that do that now. They'll buy a game, and then what they do is they'll pre-order the game, fully pay it off. And you know, at GameStop, if you bring the game back within the first week of buying it, you get your full purchase price back. So they pre-order the game, fully pay it off, then beat the game in that first week without doing any of the extra that might be in the game. They go through just the story and then return the game and then move that money to another pre-order. There are people that have done this for 10, 15 different games. And then they'll go, and then what happens is they'll wait till the game drops in price and then buy the game again when it's cheap to get all the DLC stuff and everything else that goes along with it.
Once the company fixes all the bugs and glitches. Because I ended up playing Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One with 2-3 years later, and the game ran smooth and good.
Yeah.
And I was able to get it for a nice, cheap price on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate when these companies you release a badly. I don't know if y'all remember. Remember Drive Club?
Yeah.
The PlayStation had they delayed the game to 2014. It was supposed to be a PlayStation Plus game, so I didn't even decide to buy the game, supporting them. And all of a sudden, the game was just a disaster from day one, and it took them damn near 5 to 7 months for them to fix that game complete. I was like, damn, you would have delayed that. There's nothing more worse when you delay a game for almost a year, and then you release it and it still come out broke.
Don't make no sense.
It really don't make no sense. I like that. That should not happen.
Man, it's like we've been on the topic of video games for like over an hour.
Because it's such an annoying situation because we're all old enough now because we've all grown up and so it's our money now doing it, and it's annoying. We've learned the value of spending your money on quality anything.
Why?
You know, Matt does photography for a living. I don't see Matt spending $700 on a camera that takes horrible pictures and then him keeping it.
No, we're not doing that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any of us spending money. Video games is the one thing that we can all have in common that we all agree that unfortunately we spend money on that we end up maybe getting a crap product, but we don't know it until we get it. And then once we get it, we stuck with it. We keep it.
But you know the word y'all talking about the Avengers game?
Yeah, we talking.
What 3 betas for that game? 3 betas before that game even came out, and the game came out still broke. Like, come on, man.
They lost $97 million on that game.
Yo, I played the game. I enjoyed it for a bit. Then I said that
I give them props because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I made something and I lost $97 million on it when I put it out, I wouldn't give you nothing else to do with it. Matter of fact, I'd bury it like E.T. the video game out in the desert. Yeah. But they're still supporting it. The Kate Bishop DLC is about to come out. You know, they're going to put Black Panther into the game. They're still going to support the game because they're hoping that people will come back to the game with this stuff, which to me is the wrong mentality. Sell me a good video game the first time around. Don't try to get me to come back for seconds after you done gave me mashed potatoes with peas in it.
Yes,
you know. Don't put raisins in my potato salad and then think I'm gonna get up and come back for seconds. That's not how that works.
Destiny, for the first month and a half, I was enjoying the game. All of a sudden, I'm doing the same old shit over and over again. You know, even when I played with co-op with a couple of people, I'm like, my was slowly going down, and I said, "Fuck it, I can't play this no more." And I haven't went back to the game. I ended up trading it in. Then when people, I think it was on 2016, when people said, "Oh man, the game's great and all that. It's better than when it was." Like, too late. It's too late. No matter what they've done, I don't know if I can go back into the franchise. I got Destiny 2, and I still yet to pay. I paid $4 for that game. Still yet to play Destiny 2. Hey,
$4 don't even want to play it, man.
You still pay $3.95 too much.
Is Destiny worth $5? Is it worth $5? Is it worth $5 for me to get the game and play?
I think the other thing that kills me also with video games now is this trend that has come out where they'll give you the game for free and then ask you to pay for stuff for the rest of the game.
That's all these free games. Fortnite. Fortnite is just all over you. It's a free game, but all this shit you gotta pay for. You gotta pay for the emoji dancing. Yeah, and what I want to say in the conversation was all this mentality came from mobile game. Mobile game created this.
Yeah.
All the mobile games were free to play games. They have all the microtransactions, all the stuff that you could buy in and pay in the for the game and expand. And they
it felt horrible.
Mentality and said that, we're gonna go ahead and do it and make money the easy way. And they said that, Call of Duty is $1 billion franchise. This is $1 billion franchise because they putting all this shit, all the microtransactions shit, and have people buy all this shit instead of releasing free content weekly.
They not having people buy it. They just say, "Oh, I need that microtransaction, so I'm gonna buy it myself." Because fuck that shit.
Some of that stuff should be in game for rewards. When you old school gamers, what was the key thing that we used to always love doing in games back in the day? Unlocking stuff.
Yep.
Every game has stuff that we unlock. All the fighting games that have big rosters. Tekken 3, for example. It started out with what? 11 characters? Man, you go 10, 20 something hours in the game, you already have over 30 something characters. Because you unlock those characters. Nowadays, oh no, we gotta add season passes. We gotta add multiple. I have yet to buy a single Tekken 7 season on pass. I didn't have to buy a single one because I'm like, why are they constantly having multiple season passes? Well, instead of having one, I would be willing to pay for one season pass with more than 5 to 8 characters. Instead, you're gonna have multiple season passes with multiple characters. I'm better off. At least they give you the option to buy a character. Like I bought 2 characters on what's the name, Lay, and the new black guy they had added recently.
Leroy.
Yeah, I bought those 2 characters, and that was it.
Leroy.
Now they put Bruce Leroy in there. I'm on the map.
Oh man, I'll spend every dime. Man, you give me Show Enough and Bruce Leroy, it's home.
If they Show Enough and Bruce Leroy make me buy the game, and I'm
got some real for that ass in these hands.
I'm fucking up everybody with Show Enough, bro.
Yeah, crazy,
kiss my Converse.
Still no.
Hey, Barry Gordon's Last Dragon was the movie, man. I love
it, man.
Hey, well,
he was the thing, man.
Well, I'm sorry that I opened up that Pandora's box for the PS5, but we got part 2 of this, and the part 2 is,
oh boy,
PS5 scalpers are getting desperate.
No kidding.
Hey, hold on. We're going to get this party started.
Go ahead, man.
I don't give a fuck what they got because they went out there. They got this shit. They went out there. They got this shit. They were going to charge top dollar for this thing, and now your ass is stuck with grass.
Exactly.
Y'all wanted it. You got it. You got it. They want to try to load up, and I've been telling folks, people are not going to go out and buy that system like that, man. Unless you
they got that van that y'all got that got the comics, that late night comic deal.
Yeah,
they got a van full of PS5s, and they can't move a single unit.
They can't move a single one because
they sitting on it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Anybody buying the phone?
So what happened? I missed out. What happened? So Al said the scalpers are now. What has happened is they've got all these PlayStation 5s and can't sell them.
They can't move them
because people ain't buying those systems for no $1,200, $1,900 in those. Listen, the fucking day of the Nintendo Wii is over. That shit is over. You used that boat almost 19 years ago. The PlayStation 3, that shit is over. That ship sailed. We've seen this before. People know. Oh well, you know what? If games are still running on my PlayStation 4 and I don't have to have the PlayStation 5, then of course, I'm fine. It's likewise with Xbox. There are going to be some people that have pre-ordered their product and have picked up their product, a la Xavier, Larry. We know this. They're going to go out and get it. But for like the person that just has to have one, people are not just going to drop. Listen, man. Hey, man, if I'm dropping $1,200, $1,900, 2,000, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. I am going to be getting giant size X-Men. I'm going to be getting Hulk 181. I'm going to be Fantastic 48. I'm going to be getting Amazing Fantasy 0.5. I'm going to be getting Amazing Spider-Man 129. I'm going to get the limited edition of Giant Graham from Japan. I'm all kind of shit that's worth the damn. I'm not paying $1,200 for a system that I know next year is going to be released with the red Thor version of God of War for $4.99, for $5.99 with season pass and all. I'm not wasting that kind of money.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And so What his X in the chat? He said another 181. I'm buying another 181 because if I got $1,900 to spare like that, I can
get two
to add to the stash.
Exactly, bro. You ain't lying.
Yeah, I'm going to go out there and spend that money.
With the amount of PS5s they got in that van, they could probably buy like 6 hooks at 181s. I might send ALKs out to everybody here in the stack.
Hey, Sean. Not only do they have that, man, I can guarantee if they got that many PS, if some of you guys still know 20. So I'm gonna do some quick math. They got 20 PS5s and they're charging $1,900 a pop. Then you telling me you can go out and go buy the first 25 Batman books for the first low grade Batman for that kind of price, man. You can get low grade Golden Age Batman for those prices, man. Are you crazy? You can go get these. I know for a fact you can go get at least Superman 2230 for that price. Are you crazy?
Look here for the amount of money they got on them in them vans full of PS5s. They can clone Stan Lee and have him sign copies of Hulk 181.
I mean, madness, man. It's madness.
That's how I'm making my money. I
don't feel sorry for these guys, man.
I don't think it's stuck with them shits until they got something for low price.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? And I hope Sony be low down and put that shit on sale for some of these.
You know what? I think that shit gonna happen for taxmas. I'm telling y'all,
it's gonna.
Income taxes right around. They're gonna have a Spider-Man Miles Morales PS5 and they're gonna sell that shit for like $350. And I'm telling you, it's a wrap. I'm telling you.
Right. Hey man, so sad, so too bad, so sad. I have no pity for these scalpers, man. None. Nope. Zero. We're in the fucking middle of a pandemic, man. People are dying every day. And y'all out here trying to get over on somebody for people losing their jobs and shit, man. We got folks out there in soup lines and shit. And y'all out here talking about a $1,900 for a goddamn PlayStation 5 that got this people playing the same shit.
They can have generous hearts and say, I'm going to donate some of these PS5s to people who lost families and stuff like that. Do something nice with it.
Yeah, Hey man, if you hit them in AF-15, you can go get AF-15 right now for $12,000 to $15,000. I know you can get it for $12,000 to $15,000 in a couple of stores, or right here in the state of Georgia. You come on, man. These cats out there got technology like this is motherfucking Cyberdyne or some shit. All they just loading up on shit, man. It's loading up on technology, you know.
But see, this is the crazy part, though. I ain't mean to cut you off, but I just want to throw that in and throw this in there in the mix too. Now, there has been reports, and I've seen most of this on YouTube. I tried to find the articles online to reference, but some of the scalpers have actually resorted to going on Facebook and other forms of social media and pleading with people to buy systems. And get this, they're saying, and I quote loosely, that they're trying to feed their families. They're trying to buy Christmas presents.
Wait a goddamn minute.
Hold on. Let me finish. And they're trying to pay bills. If I can find the link to the video on YouTube, I'm gonna put it in the description of this video. It's insane, man. Like people were just going off. Like, first of all, you had a group of over in UK of about, I don't know how many of them, but they secured at least 3,500 PlayStation 5s and bots and all this kind of stuff. The problem is now people are starting to get smart and they're starting to refrain from the fact that they got to go out and, like we say in the comic book realm, FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Mm-hmm. So at this particular point, the system's been out for how long, Jace? About a good month and a half, 2 months now.
Getting close to a month.
And they're not able to push those units like they were when they first started. Because remember when we first started talking about on the show, and we were on eBay and we were seeing them old crazy asinine prices, they're not going for that no more. So they're getting desperate. And at this particular point in time, they got product. And then Sony had just came out a couple of days or a few days ago and said that they're working on the problem. They acknowledge and recognize the whole scalping situation. And Sony, in so many words, was like, fuck them dudes. We got y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where they are right now. So go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I just want to put
Okay, well, I just want to talk this out here too. You know, they say that they've got problems. Well, I've got problems too. If I got $1,200, $1,900, I'm picking up some more Golden Age right here. Look at it. I'm picking up some more Golden Age Batman. We're gonna write down the line. We're gonna go find a first a Ninja
There you
Turtle
go.
for $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. At this state, I probably have to get the third print. We're gonna buy another one of those, and then I tell you what. Well, shit, man. I get if we going $1,900. I got three major problems to have if I got $1,900 to spend on shit.
Yep.
Ain't nobody paying for that shit, man. These dudes might as well just go ahead and get the tax write-offs. Donate to the kids you love. Donate to the food pantry or something. Write that shit off as a tax break because y'all asses have bit the bullet and you look like a goddamn fool. I know somebody personally right now that got 8 of them. And he on Facebook right now, personally, right now.
Yo,
sitting right there looking like
he got an auction. I saw this auction on Thursday. This shit here, a PS5, and I think it was at $600. Now it's over $1,075. And it's 8 minutes ago when you got 57 bids on it.
Jake,
who bidding all that?
The masses are bidding on that. That's what 57 bids.
That's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? So
Well,
one of my coworkers, he had a buddy that had 3 PS5s, 2 discs and 1 digital. He sold them shits at regular price. Yo, he saw that people need him. He said, "All right, I'm gonna sell y'all $500." Bang. Got all 3. So all 3 of them.
The ones that are crying are the ones that charge them on charge cards.
Yeah, the box.
They gotta pay them off now.
And they're like, whoa.
I didn't make my money back in time to pay this off.
People are finding auctions on these PS5s, and you got motherfuckers just constantly bidding on it. Like, dude, once it go beyond $500 plus or $600 plus, what's the point?
Hey man, let me tell you something. If you buying a play, all right. So let's do some math. So PlayStation 5 costs how much?
$537 is what I paid for the console.
$537.
Yeah,
and
that's what I paid for the.
Okay, and then if you only make over 500 more, man. I mean, if I'm buying something, I'm trying to sell it. I saw you shake your head, Chris. Chris know where I'm going with this. If I'm paying $530, I at least need you to make it $2,500. I need to make the maximum top dollar. Is what I'm going for. Maximum. You know, that right here. This is comment of the night right here. You know, bidding on the new.
I can't believe the stupidity of that shit, man. The fucking stupidity. They said first print, New Mutants 98, first Deadpool, but you can fucking clearly see that shit was a reprint with the Marvel logo right there. Isn't it? Like if you click on the picture in the spec, you automatically see it, but these dumb motherfuckers say, I need that book. That's first print Deadpool. The fuck you bidding on $1,000 for a book that's a facsimile?
It had $4.99 in the corner.
I mean, you keep on giving, man. It's a gift to keep on giving, man.
So I just saw this. I don't know if you guys probably didn't because it just popped up like 4 minutes ago. But apparently, there are some PS5s that are getting bricked because of the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. It's bricking some of it.
Yeah.
You need, okay, so you guys, what kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? That is
Activision.
Activision is deactivating Call of Duty.
I can't imagine the rage turn into the Hulk. That the level of rage I would feel from spending $70 for this game and like $600 for this system, and I get it home and I turn it on, and then it turned into a paperweight. Like I would Hulk smash everything. Just the level. The fact that this is even happening is like you were saying, Matt. When I came in, Call of Duty. Right. Like you were saying, it's ridiculous that they're putting these games out, and this could be a possibility of happening. You know,
this is the second patch of the game. This is a patch.
Put that comment back up there. I'll put that comment back up there. Let me tell you something. These sellers, some of these sellers know what the hell they be doing. They know they suck his. I just quote what Xavier said: "Suck his boy every minute." They know Sunshine Bone, who ain't been collected in the last 20 years.
Yep.
Roll up. You know, I got New Mutants '98. I got the first appearance of Deadpool. But they don't know what it is, and the seller know because when that bid come in for $5,643.22, he know that person think that's New Mutants '98. You ain't fooling me, man. He gonna take that shit and he gonna buy Harley Davidson. You ain't fooling me.
Harley Davidson. Yep. Well, does anybody else have anything to add to this particular topic?
Yeah.
All right. So we got two more. We actually got two more things, and then we're gonna get to the main event tonight. The next one is actually comic related. We talked about these briefly. We talked about one last week, but this is DC Future State and Marvel's King in Black. So Future State is slated for next month, which is January, and Marvel's King in Black has already started. So are any of we'll start with King in Black. Are any of the panel members reading that particular story?
I know Larry is. I'm not, but I know Larry is.
It is actually in my Kindle right now. I just haven't read it. I was busy today.
Yeah.
I'm not reading it.
No for me.
Yeah, all I can tell you that Larry told me yesterday that that they basically is coming right out of the gate establishing how powerful Noel is. So
yeah,
I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I heard it's pretty good.
Okay. Do you all think that this particular book is gonna spawn any major keys, or is it too soon?
I think we've already got the. It's about some numbers there. I get a little feedback. Yeah, music. All right, but I think that with this Noel thing, I think Noel is kind of. I think those Venom books are going to be the ones that probably be the main books. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some feedback.
We got some
feedback.
Is that you? Is you got the music playing over there, Jace?
Yeah, feedback.
Yeah. You might want to turn. Yeah, we got you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. But yeah, I think those Venom and Venom books are gonna be the main Noel books to get. If there's anything important that's coming out of this, it'll be later on in the series. It'll be one of those situations we got now with Daredevil.
Yeah.
Okay.
That whole thing is crazy to me, but
I want to comment on this right here.
That's true.
Matt talks about this a lot, and Matt calls it the Midnight Express special. and basically all it is that. Go ahead, Reemo.
No reserve.
Well, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, it's basically, man, what it is a lot of times if you wait till between the hours of 11 and 4 a.m.
Yep.
You can get on eBay. Most people are asleep, and you can get on eBay. And a lot of times these sellers have books. They may list the book that same night within that period. You might find a book. You might run up on a first appearance of Gambit for $25.99 CGC 7.5. And you be like, what the fuck? I can't believe this shit is real. And it's like, it's legit because a lot of times dudes they don't know. I'll give everybody on here tonight a tip for the comment hall and roundtable discussion. Y'all better start looking down in the bottom left-hand corner of these books that y'all buying because they be I see newsstand editions up left and right all the time. I just pick them up one by one. Those newsstand variants, the DCU variants, they just be sitting out there. Guys don't know. They think, it's just the first appearance. Just a regular running to be a book. And it's actually a valuable book that you can get for pennies on the dollar, as we always say. So be on the lookout for those.
This right here seems to be a recurring theme, Sean. I know you talked about this early on your show.
Sean's like,
All right, Sean, go ahead, Doc.
let it out, man.
Support independent comic books because their paper quality is far superior than Marvel. That's all I got to say. Toilet paper. I mean, I don't know why people are going out there and buying toilet paper when if you're collecting Marvel comics, this shit is right there for you to wipe your ass with. Because that's what it is. It's toilet paper quality. I don't understand Marvel with Disney. They just want to continue to use cheap paper, but yet you got deep, new, independent comics from companies that's just starting out using fresh quality paper. The shit feels nice, glossy and shit. Fresh. And I'm like, it's like freaking like bounty paper towels and stuff. It's better than fucking some dry ass paper towels that you get from fucking Walgreens, man. It's like this shit's trash, man. Oh yeah, man. Marvel they irritate me with their cheap ass paper. I don't even want to talk about it no more.
He muted himself.
Yeah, man. I was like,
I can't do it.
I'm done with it, man.
Yes, he was Lady Fantastic. He was a bit miffed at that particular point. So okay, so King in Black, nobody's actually read that, but Matt, you heard that it's going to set up some possible key issues for Venom. Okay, all right, cool. How about DC Future State? Is anyone excited about that particular?
I am hyped. I am hyped for it, but I'm the super DC fan, much like Larry is from Marvel. I think Future State is going to be really good. Like it's great because DC's not trying, because they saw what happened with Rebirth. Even though a lot of people hated Rebirth, it still did really well and introduced a lot of interesting story points and characters into the comic book world. With Future State, they're taking the opportunity to, they're not going to be like, they're not saying this is a different Earth. They're like, this is the future 30 years down the line. This is where we're headed. They're giving you a chance at looking at what's possibly going to happen. And they're showing you that these characters, aren't going to stay, because everybody always talks about Superman's like the Boy Scout, Batman's been around forever. And then here we are now. Future State is going to give us a new Batman, a new Superman, a new Wonder Woman. Far Sector's Green Lantern, she's getting her shot. She's going to be a member of the Justice League. Finally, instead of them bringing her in now and then trying to make her fit into the world that the DC universe is and the Justice League and everything that's going on with Dark Knight's Metal and everything on like that, they're like, down the line, she comes back to Earth and becomes a Green Lantern and fits in with everybody. Like she comes in and she's gonna be her own person. She's not gonna just be the black chick who's also a Green Lantern on the Justice League. She's gonna be her own character. They're allowing her comic book to keep running and allowing her to actually stand on her own to show you that this is a very good character, and this character you love, she's gonna, for a lot of people, she'll probably be the hook for why a lot of people are gonna read the Future State Justice League comic book, because they've read her comic book from Far Sector. You know what I'm saying? So they're using her to hook people in like that, and that is really, really smart.
That's the only book I'm interested in because I've been reading Far Sector.
Exactly.
Me and Fresh Princess did a live stream talking about that book. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing her part of that Justice League. But as a whole for Future State, outside of a few titles, I'm not going to be going on and just buying up everything. I'm just going to pick and choose on what I'm interested in. I'll let my shop know that, I'm going to get this, and this, but I'm not going to go ham on it.
Matt?
I mean, it's DC. I mean, it's Future State is one of those things that it looks interesting. I just hope we don't have another Rebirth situation where a bunch of hype and then about issue 25 of the series is we starting over again, and Robin King shows up, and then we got the Alfred who laughs. I mean, I just hope I just hope You know, we this is something that's fresh, and that they say it's gonna be something that's fresh, and I'll give them a shot, and I hope it's something that's fresh. And so, you know, we'll see. I'm more personally, I'm more interested in what they're gonna do with the milestone side of things. That's what I want.
That's what I'm waiting on. I feel like it's been years since they first announced way back when. We know that Milestone was coming back under DC, and I remember TiVo interviewed Ken Lashley about that. You know, because Ken Lashley was a big part of it, of that relaunch. But then years went by and we ain't got nothing on it. So, you know, when they started it earlier this year that they was going to bring back Milestone officially, I was like, all right, let's see what they do, because it's been years in the making.
Yeah, I mean, and see, I think you know, DC's trying to keeping it low key, but not realizing that, you know, guys like us, we actually sitting here watching y'all, waiting on. Okay, we waiting to see what y'all gonna do with this, and we just run out one character, because that ain't gonna work either. We need to see some actual work put into this.
Yeah.
Okay, Reemo.
No, I agree.
Okay, cool. All right, so we are down to our last topic for the night, and this is our main topic.
It is for the championship of the world.
It's for
main event.
Main event. Is Spec killing the local comic shops? We're going to talk about this.
Woo.
Before we talk about this, I have some material that I would like to share. So what I'm about to do, I'm about to share my screen, and I'm going to pull up a couple of things so we have some reference materials. Please forgive the look that you see on my face when you see this. I'm looking disgusted, and rightfully so. If you look at the title, this was August the 8th, and this was right after we had a show in reference to the ill-fated Robin King that Matt just mentioned. So I got a minute or two. I'm going to play this particular broadcast, and then I'm going to show y'all something else, and then we're going to get to talking. So here we go. My thing is that I understand the hype behind a brand new character. I get it. I understand the anticipation of owning a book that's the first appearance of a character. I get that. But at what point does the speculation market override the sense and sensibility of not only comic book buyers, but comic book sellers, especially those that's trying to milk you? That's the issue that I have. All right. So we're going to fast forward, and I did some stuff. Hope everybody can see this. I'm about to blow it up for the chat. This was on Instagram a couple of days ago.
Oh, man.
I follow, I'm going to show it because it's public, Key Collector Comics. All right. Can y'all read that?
Yeah.
Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to read it. So basically, this guy, apparently he is a Key Collector subscriber. And let me just say off the rip, I'm in no way, shape, or form, dissing Key Collector. I'm just doing this to prove a point or to start conversation. Okay, so this guy, and again, this is public, so it's on Key Collector's page on Instagram. He says, "Bank big time at my LCS. Each sold for $20 and one for $165. My investment was $70. Thanks to Key Collector app. If you're collecting and you don't use this app, then you are missing out." Now, the books that he showed were books that just came out this week. If y'all can see those books.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Key Collector, and I tried to block somebody's name out. Y'all probably see it, but it's on Instagram. But Key Collector responded and said, "Very appreciative of these posts." And then he said some other stuff. But that's me right there. And I tagged everybody.
Yep.
That I know.
I remember.
And I said, blah, blah, blah. Would you look at this shit? So Kingdom Comics, I don't know if Tito is still in the chat, but he says, bro, this is how you run a narrative, get people hooked and nosedive them. All right. So this is going to be a little blurry, and I'm not going to like go over everything, but I screenshotted pretty much the whole conversation. So for the most part, there were some people that were really pissed off about this. We're going to start here. Dave's Comics, he says, bring back potatoes to Taco Bell. Also, fuck scalpers. It's one thing to collect, read, and sell books later on in life, but you're a scumbag for buying the whole rack on New Comic Book Day. Key Collector responded, haha. So one guy said, so he bought all the books from his LCS to resell them. Meanwhile, readers are left high and dry. 23 likes. Now, this is what I actually took pause with Key Collector, and I almost unfollowed him at this point. He says any reader is going to encounter this on a weekly basis, which is a good reason to have pull box for title, which in a sense I agree. But the whole concept of him saying what he said is one thing for a book to sell out because people just wanted to get that book and read it. It's another thing for somebody to buy all the books at one local comic book store, turn around and flip them. That's totally different. But I do agree with the whole full box thing. So this guy says, I don't think the word collect means what this guy thinks it means. Then he comes back and says every collectible has a resale market. I want y'all to think about that. I'm going to skip down and go. One guy says, can you put something on your app advertising what pull lists or how to set up a previous pull list with LCS? That will help the industry more than promoting scalpers. That's not his response, right? With what my mouse is. That was somebody else's response because I thought that was a novel, excellent idea.
It is.
Then one guy said, scalpers are the best. I would like to buy that comic. Nope. Someone else bought them all. Good luck on eBay. Canadian Comic Man says, getting one or two and reselling them are fine in my book, but doing this isn't. I wouldn't have promoted this person. Speaking of Key Collector. And this type of bullshit is ruining comics. Same thing happened with Nike Dunks. Greed. This is not what comics are about. My LCS had these at $29.99 today. Scalpers don't realize that they're going to drive people out of the hobby doing this, and they'll have no one to sell to. People like this clown are destroying the hobby one release at a time. Dude says, sounds like the sanitizer guy from Tennessee. And if y'all don't know, the guy in Tennessee, that was actually when the pandemic started, he went around his whole city within a 100-mile radius and bought all of the sanitizer and went on Amazon and started selling it for like asinine prices.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna end it right there. Y'all seen the majority of the comments were very venomous, no pun intended, from our previous conversation. But the majority of people, the vast majority, I would have to say, of the couple of hundred posts that he had, I would say 80% were like very ticked off. So our topic of discussion is Spec killing the local comic shops. I'm gonna go ahead and say my piece, and then I'm gonna let y'all do what y'all do. Personally, y'all know how I felt about this when Robin King first came out. I was pissed off, and that particular video that I showed you all, that was from August. We're now in December, and I remember on the show that we had when I had my mini rant on that show, I mentioned to you all in the chat that this is going to become a precedent that we are going to see in the comic book realm, in the comic book community from this point forward. And just to show as my beard looked nappy, and just to show as I'm sweating like a Hebrew slave at the top of my head, the shit is coming to fruition. It makes no sense for a comic book store to charge $29 for a book because it's a key. Now, I can see if they put a couple of them back and they sell out and then put the other two on, 2, 3, however many they order, and sell it for $10, $15. I get that. But for the simple fact, it's a damn shame that you have to revert to Previews World or a pull box service in order to get a comic book for regular price. It makes no sense. We are approaching a time where these scalpers are going to cause comic book stores, especially those stores that don't have a lot of old, golden age, silver age, copper age back issues. It's going to come a time where they're going to put these particular comic shops in jeopardy because of the simple fact that people are going to refer to these services like Previews World and other pull box services to order their books online. But the problem that I have with that is that at that point, when the comic book stores start to get hip, how are they going to approach that situation after the fact when you're ordering the second appearance of Robin King's mama from Previews World and they missing out on money because you getting it pre-ordered, right? So you ordering that book pre-ordered. So what are you looking at then when it comes down to, are they going to try to pull an okie doke on you and try to charge for another $6 or $7 or $8 for that book? It's going to become it's already becoming a problem, because y'all ain't going to tell me that a comic book store is going to be cool with anybody going to if they use a subscription service, the two LCSs, Origin Store and Primetime here in Macon. They have Previews World. Previews World is the shit. I love it. But there's going to come a point in time where these LCSs are going to start saying, hey, they cutting out my extra change. This is my Moet money. They cutting into this. This is my disco money. I got to take my money out to Steak and Ale. But I can't get that extra money on this book because they're pre-ordering this book. So my question to the panel, and I'm going to start with Sean. Do you think that Spec is killing local comic shops based on what we've seen? You muting, sir. You're on mute. Sean, you're mute.
I want to start off with this. See what I just put up? That's the page on Twitter. And then, somebody replied, but is this collecting or flipping? And he said, well, with that money, I can afford the books I do collect. Let the hobby pay for itself. And then he says, you're welcome. Oh, and I didn't buy them all, but whatever with facts. I'm just looking at that comment had me like, you didn't buy them all, but you got all these copies sitting right there, and you taking a picture of it, and you just showing off that you got all these copies and you made all this money off of these books. So it's like, if you're gonna do something like that, I'd rather you do that shit on your own personal time and not put it out there on the internet to say, oh, look what Key Collector app did for me. I got all these books, multiple copies, and I made all this money for it. Like, why the fuck you gonna do that? That's like all those people that be showing them stack of bills and and they showing them all, you make $1,000, all this shit. Man, you probably just doing all that dirt, for sooner or later they're gonna catch your ass and they're gonna throw you in jail because you stealing money. So I do not like people like that. And if you go through that, the rest of that part, he just continues to say, I'm doing the let the hobby pay for itself, and I'm just gonna buy the books that I want to collect. But you're gonna sit there and just show it off like that. Do that shit on your own without having to post it on social media that what Key Collector did for you helped you net this amount of money. I can't stand people like that. I really despise that shit. There's no need for you to do it, but you want to boast about it and highlight Key Collector for him helping you gain all this money. And that's even worse than motherfuckers just scooping up all the books, is that you boasting about it. That I hate that the most. And I'm reading through his comments and stuff, and I'm like, man, fuck this guy, man. He's not worth my time to even continue to talk about, man. I can't stand people like that.
I agree, VV. Comic book stores can charge for the incentive what they want. but regular covers should be sold for cover price on the day of release. But the problem is with that Daredevil, they were selling that cover price for $30, the A cover, and that's crazy.
I mean, I think if you're gonna buy, I mean, I don't. With stores, if they have their policies, you know, I figure if you can get there, you get them. But my thing is more so with stores trying to cut into it. Like I don't mind so much people if you get there. I mean, I don't think you should go there and buy the whole rack. I mean, that's kind of, you know, you should leave it for other people to be able to get books. But if you're digging and you find some books and then you resell them and you buy the books you like, I'm okay with that. I don't like when the store has their hands in your pockets. That's the part I don't like. When they're charging, you know, for an incentive cover, you know, $25 for, you know, on opening day, when it's cover price. Even if it is an incentive, it still should be a cover price. You know what I mean? And then, like you said, days later, it will get a value. But they always pass down, oh, well, we have to order 25 copies in order to get the one. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, but I'm sure you have 25 customers that would buy the book. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's on you to buy more copies. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't want the store telling me, you know, oh, this book is worth this much. This is how much I'm gonna sell it to you for. That's what I don't want. You know what I mean? I don't want, oh, well, the industry's saying that Rob McKee is $25 for the first day. Then I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, then that means I can't make $25 off of it if I don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want it.
Like, I don't want to pay $25 for a book that, you know, that I want to read, but you forcing me to pay $25 for it, and then when I read it, I'm like, man, this shit is crap. Exactly. And then I wasted $25.
Yeah, because now you can't sell it for that.
Jace?
Man, just from the shit I've been hearing from y'all, because I don't buy new comics. I do not buy new comics. Especially from the shit I've been hearing from y'all, with all these cover prices going up. And nothing worse with a key collector app. Yo, if you're a comic shop owner, you shouldn't be using any app at all. Sell the comic at the value that it was meant to be sold. Period. Yo, I mean, what book? It was the Uncanny X-Men, the one that just came out. I posted on Instagram. It was a couple. I bought it from the shop, and he sold it for me for cheaper than the cover price because Sean knows what's the name, Al, and I was like,
stop on it.
Yeah, the book. I look on eBay just to see what people are selling the book for, and it's going over $19.99, over $20+. I'm like, this is why I'm so glad I'm buying. I bought a guy in the shop who's not willing to base prices or for apps or for what the market is eBay on them selling. Well, Matt was talking last week where he said the moment someone the shop owner brings up eBay for collector time, comic time, I'm walking out the store. You sell stuff based on what the price is of the book, or based on I don't understand the spec shit. Like a brand new book should not be going over $30+. I mean, I wanted to get to some of the Silver Circle blacks, especially the first two issues, and I've seen that these motherfuckers, and I missed it when it came out in the shop. And I went on eBay and I've seen these books going over 25 or 30 something. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? A brand new book. A fucking brand new book with no emphasis on a first amazing, like if it's the first appearance of a brand new character that makes coming to Sunday, yeah, I can see you going on. But the regular first book, and it's going over 25 to 30,000.
And I want to say this. My brother is more of a casual collector. He buys back issues, but when it comes to new issues, he don't have a pull. You know, he'll just go pick up some books.
Iron Fist books over eBay. Dude sold them for $12. $12. I'm only 3 issues away from completing this run. 3 issues. Yo, and I got these Assassin's Creed books off of eBay. Now they're not even in my shop. They still around the shop. I don't know if I see bought these books for $5. No free shipping. And I was like, now I think the most expensive book I bought this year in terms of comic book was the Miles Morales version variant. I don't know if I posted on Instagram. I don't know if y'all remember it. But I paid over $30 for that. For the regular cover and the version variant. And that's like, for that cover, I said, and this is on clean frame cover. I said, you know what? I think it's worth for that cover is worth that price. But for a brand new book to be going over $30 for it has no big time impact, no first appearance, or no key character making a debut. I was like, why is the book going? Why are you, especially if you're a shop owner, are you basing on eBay? Are you basing on these guys, key collector, and all these guys are saying, "Oh, these books are hot books, man. You got sell these books for a high price and all that." So like, come on, man. I go on Preview Worlds to see just what's the new books coming out. I don't go on Preview Worlds to see what fucking prices going on. Right?
Remember when the pandemic started? They Key Collector app had that Spider-Man book, first appearance of Corona, and motherfuckers started chasing for that book.
Yeah. Are you kidding? A coronavirus. And you got a corona character, and motherfuckers gonna spec that book up, bring it up in price just because of that shit. All right.
And her powers was heat related. It didn't have nothing to do with no virus. So
right.
And then the book, I hate when books randomly get specced up. Like Sean, you had the Spider-Man book with the first time. Now I can see because that's a first time ever you had Carnage morphing with Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah, the Cosmic Carnage.
That book, like, I wish I could have gotten that book years ago. Because I think I'm missing a few issues from around those Spider-Man books. And now that book just randomly going up on eBay. Like, what's going on here? You know? What's going on? Are you going because Carnage? Anything that's Carnage, and this is why I hate when the specs comes with the movies. So Carnage is going to be in Venom 2. So now every key book that he appears in, the prices are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Every book is going. Are you kidding me? So now when I want to buy some back issues with Carnage on the cover, those books are going up more than what they should be. I'm like, are you kidding?
Remember early this year we talked about when they dropped that Miles Morales game?
Yeah.
In the trailer? Man, every fucking Miles Morales book just skyrocketed.
Going up, and I want to get that cover. I want to get that. I'm like, yo, I need to get that cover. Like, I do not anticipate that book going up in price that high. I never anticipate that book going up that high. And now the game gets announced, game is coming out, and that book is just going all over the place.
It's not even the first appearance. You got the hip hop variant skyrocketing up to $500. The issue where he kissed Spider-Gwen, that went from a $12 book to a freaking $90 book, $50 book. I'm like, the fuck?
And this is the one day. This is the reason why I just don't buy a lot of new comics, because I just hate the fact that now Marvel is so big with these characters when it comes to putting them in movies that people are just going by the popularity of these characters that appear on the big screen. And they're just gonna go out and raise those prices a little bit. I noticed in the Ultimate Spider-Man books, this first run, those like first 10 issues on eBay are going up over $20. I was able to get one issue out of that run from a dollar bin. I think it was I forgot where it was, somewhere in MegaCon. One of them bins that I was able to get one issue for that. But now I can't get it. I can't even go on eBay to get them because those books are going up in price.
And see, that's my biggest issue because, you know, in addition to my new books, I buy back issues. I collect for runs. I'm trying to complete runs, and it really pisses me the hell off when speculation gets involved and it takes a 50 cent or $1 book that I have been yet to find, and it puts it in the realm of a $30 or $40 book. As I said on one of our previous shows, the comic book reader in me will not allow the collector in me to spend $30, $40 for a book that I know ain't worth that much.
Yeah, especially
I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's jacked up, man. I mean, it's crazy, man. Chris, what's your thoughts on it? Damn.
First off, yes, I think it is. I think speculation is going to ruin local comic book shops because as collectors, we can speculate whatever. If I'm trying to sell a book to somebody, I can charge whatever I want. That's just how America is. But as a comic book store, if you want to keep customers coming back into your store week after week, like we've all said before, you gotta give them a reason to want to come back. Like Matt said in his rant last week, if you ain't trying to move no product, put up the velvet ropes and charge tickets so people can come see your museum because you don't have a store. You have just a really cool place you have a really cool storage unit because you ain't trying to sell none of the stuff you got in here. Speculation is horrible because, all right, at 41, I remember when characters came out in a comic book back in the world before pop culture gave a damn about nerds. When if something happened in the comic book, the only person that cared was you, the guy that worked at the comic book store, and the dude in line behind you who was also buying that issue of that comic book, who's reading it with you. Nobody cared. And then years down the line, if something that happened in issue 6 became important in issue 60, then issue 6 became a key issue. Because time told us it was a key issue. Mm-hmm. This instant gratification, millennial comic book snatch and grab, fear of missing out bullshit is killing comic books because people are instantly, as soon as the comic book comes out, even months before it comes out, it's instantly a key issue. How you know? The rest of that story could be crap. Something could happen and they never even finish the storyline, so it's no longer a key issue. But you're saying it's going to be a key issue just because something happens and you're speculating that it's going to be good. Like here's a great example that I feel like is a great difference. Daredevil 25 came out and everybody speculates that it's going to be a key issue just because she put on Daredevil's outfit. Now, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I don't really give a damn. It doesn't really matter to me that Elektra put on Daredevil's outfit. That does not make it a key issue to me. But Future State, the Teen Titans comic book, Red X appearing in a comic book for the first time ever. That is a key issue. This is a character, much like Harley Quinn, coming from the animated series of Batman. Here is a character moving from one medium, one form of media, to another for the first time. It is impactful. It is meaningful. It actually is something you should actually look out for. That is a key issue. Those issues that Red X shows up in for the first time are going to be key issues. Unknown Comics is sending me emails talking about, hey, go ahead and jump on getting a second printing of Daredevil 25 with the variant alt cover for $20. No, man, I'm not. It ain't even gone to the second printing yet, and they're trying to get me to buy a second print already. Doesn't matter that I don't care or that I don't even have one, but what if I already had an issue, but you still pumping this alt variant covers? And that's another thing that's killing it to me also, is that they're starting to do these exclusive alt variant covers for specifically different stores. So then if you're trying to collect your issue, it may be a key issue, but your key issue isn't as resellable because it's not the ultra rare, super exclusive backwoods bumblefuck middle of nowhere comic book store variant cover.
You just local.
Right. You just got the local cover, but dude on eBay selling his copy for $100 just because his version is in black and white and it was an exclusive to his local comic book store. It's ridiculous. It's crazy to me, all these variants that they're breaking them down to that point to where they're making people pick and choose almost like Pokemon about where they get their comic books from. They're destroying local comic book stores by producing so many of these variant covers that people aren't buying them from their local comic book store because they're going to order them online to get the cover they want because their local comic book store doesn't have the cool cover no more. I remember going to the comic book store, and the comic book store would, if I wanted the comic, it was on the shelf, and they were the only ones who had it. That was it. I didn't have to worry about going nowhere else. There was no speculation. I didn't have. It wasn't until I started collecting comic books earnestly again as an adult that I had to actually worry that I might miss getting an issue because of speculation.
Yeah.
Because somebody somewhere said that these look at Externals, the Eternals comic book that's come out. They did what? 40 different covers for that comic book. Why? Because Angelina Jolie and the rest of them no good actors is going to be in that movie that might not do too well.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I initially stopped in the 90s was when New Mutants 98 came out and people were buying up everything on the racks. And
right.
I'm over this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because I was reading the series and I wanted the book and I couldn't get it because of that. And I was like, and then they wanted it, and I know it sounds crazy now, but it was like they wanted like $15 or $18 for the issue, and I was just like, I couldn't do it.
Right. You know, it's interesting to me that they were worried that, you know, people pirating comic books, they pay for your comic books, they're pirating comic books, it's going to kill the comic book industry. Speculation is going to kill the comic book industry years before people pirating comic books will.
Yeah.
Because there are more people who will pirate a comic book, read the issue, and then find a comic book store to buy it from.
Yep.
Then there are people who will not buy the comic book because you're trying to charge $30 for it.
I'll put it on my iPad in a minute, read it. I'm gonna go buy it. Okay.
I'm gonna go buy it. Exactly. I'm gonna go buy that.
I've done that a couple of times for a book that I couldn't get at the moment, that I had to wait to get, and I wanted to read it. So I would go ahead, Reemo.
I wanted to read the Daredevil, so I was like, let me download it and see what the hype is about. And
right.
then I see what it was. I was like, I'm not even worried I didn't get it.
I ain't even worried even paying the price for it.
Yeah, I'm not paying $25 for that.
I wanted the other history of the DC universe till Sean was like, it ain't worth the read, and I was like, well, guess I'm gonna be downloading a copy of that. Like, I'm not buying a copy, but again, on the same turn, look at Last Ronin. You know, it's a $9, $10 comic or whatever, and the first issue ended, and it was just like, man, if they really did do this and give away who the Last Ronin is at the end of the first issue, I'm not spending another $10 on that second issue. Not for the hustle I had to put in to find the first one. I went to 4 different comic book stores to get that comic book.
It was a cover price though?
It was still cover price, thankfully. Yeah. You know, but I spent scalper prices trying to find it, but you know.
But I still think even with that book, they tried to make it scarce, but they know they didn't make it scarce.
No.
And I just think that they were, some got damaged. No, you sold exactly how many you wanted to sell. You know what I mean? People ain't gonna be able to really mark that book up that high. It's gonna be a book you're gonna want to have to spend $10 on.
Yeah.
And the people who spent the $10 are gonna have that book, and it might be worth double next week or next year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It ain't gonna be one of these books where it's gonna be $175 and climbing after the first week. You know what I mean? Like, it
ain't nobody getting no issues of Last Ronin #1 slab. Let's just be honest about that. And they might get it signed and polybagged and backboarded, but there ain't gonna be no slabbed issues up on eBay going for like $5,000 20 years from now for Last Ronin #1 or Daredevil 25. I think that's the other thing. Comic books, so like, think about it. Just in this year alone, there have easily been 15 key issues that have come out from different comic books. 20 years from now.
Low end too. That might be on the low end.
Right, that might be on the low. It's not going to be the same. It's not like when we were all coming up during the 90s and those comic books are now key issues. People trying to get like Al, you trying to get all the New Mutants. You know, finish your complete run of New Mutants, finishing a complete run of Steel comic books that were actually like really good comic books. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, ain't nobody gonna remember and worry about the key issues that supposedly are the issues that everybody wanted this year. I don't see it happening because speculation is gonna make it where people don't care no more. Because when you charge too much for something, people eventually stop caring about whether or not it's worth getting. Because you put too much value on it, people stop caring about it. It has so much value that it loses value.
Yep.
And that's just how I see it. But that's just me though.
Well, Matt, you look like a pressure cooker over there, man. Got some oxtails in it, ready to blow up. So go ahead and say your piece, man. The floor is all yours, sir.
Well, what we have here, gentlemen, is you have the scalper and you have the tag team partner, the store owner. One tags the other one in to cut off the ring from you, the buyer. So what are you saying? What I'm saying is, I've seen several people refer to this in the text, in the chat. I'm going back to where I was at last week. I'm going right back to that same store owner that has 25 copies of what book was that again we talking about here? Because I got several of them on my mind.
Daredevil.
Daredevil 25. You got 25 copies of Daredevil. You're selling them for $14.95, and you hoping that you get 14 fools to come in the door and buy that book. All right. So, all right. Well, you may have one or two people that genuinely want the book because they've been reading the book. They may not be pull boxers, but they may be guys that come in the store on a weekly basis that say, hey, you know what? I'm really enjoying Daredevil. I really want to read this book. But why do I have to pay $14 for it? Oh, because Johnny B. Bad over at Key Collector put in the Key Collector 3 days before it came out that Electra was going to be Daredevil. So this makes this a $75 book on eBay at a 2.5. So I've got to make sure that I can get the top dollar. Okay, well, we'll use that argument. I'm gonna come back to that, and I'm gonna go back to let's go to a regular store. Let's say a regular store. Guy comes in and says, "Hey man, I want to get this book, and it's $2.99. Or well, it's whatever the book is." But then you got some jackass that comes in before everybody else because he comes in right when the store opens up. He takes his cart, he knocks all of them down over to his little basket. He walks up there, he buys 15 copies of Daredevil 25. So why the fuck in the store owner stopping right there and say, "Hey man, I'm only letting people get one. We're only doing one per store right now. Now, if you come back towards the end of the week and I got any more left over, I'll let you pick up another copy. But for right now, until everybody, I'm going to wait a whole day to see who all wants this book. And if they want to come in, we're only doing it that way." See, sometimes the store owner's complicit in this shit. I've seen this. I've watched it with my own eyes. Some of these store owners will let a shine bone walk in and get 25 of the books. And then not only do they make a fool out of themselves, well, out of people that want to buy the book, but they make a fool out of themselves because those same dudes turn around and if that book does, let's say that book does spike. Let's say it's no first appearance or no. Let's use that. That book spikes, and then you just sold them all because you let them all run out the store at one time. Now you sitting there hurting. Now you crying, pissing and moaning, and now you gonna mark up the second print. And then like Jay said earlier, you're gonna go down the line. If it's something in the movie that comes out, you're gonna mark up all the books because that person's in the movie. This shit is out of control, man. This is straight Royal Rumble type shit. This is every man for himself. This is bushwhacker in one way, bushwhacker out the rain the other way in less than a second. It's complete total fucking mayhem. You go to the store, it's like you're going to the comic book store now. And everybody's trying not to screw each other. You hoping you ain't getting screwed, picking up a book. You hoping that the store owner hoping that you ain't screwing him over on a book. The shit is upside down. It is upside down. This can easily be alleviated if store owners would simply say, "Hey, I'm only doing a one per store sale today. This is it, and it's gonna be a cover price." You stop selling these books 40, 50 at a time. But if you got a person that's coming in buying, let's say if that same person is buying 25 copies of that book, what the hell make you think that if it's already a hot book, that more people ain't coming in and buying that book? So even if you go ahead, Reemo.
I'm okay with it if you put 25 on your pool list.
Yeah, you got stores, and this would be a topic for another show. But you got stores that have pull boxes, Reemo, that are not pulling books for people who have placed the order, and they're still selling said books before they even touch the pull box.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I see that. I think that's mine. But I think if you have a pool list and you say, like my store owner will let me do it. He'll be like, I'll say, I want Strange Academy. I want it ×2, and I want A and B cover. In my pool box, it'll have Strange Academy ×2, A and B cover. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't take away from what's on the shelf because it's on my pool list. So you got to order it for me regardless.
Yeah. Right.
That's not taken away from Matt buying 2 issues or a copy if he wants, or a Sean, or you know what I mean, Jace or Al.
Right.
And then not only that, now you can have the variant covers, the 1 in 10s, the 1 in 12s, or 1 in 25s, or 1 in 50s, because I myself are buying 15 now. If I go and scalp them, that's fine because I'm not taking them away from you.
Yeah.
But if you are gonna just let somebody walk into the store and then you have 15 copies and you only ordered 15 copies, and you're gonna let this dude walk in and just take all 15,
I
got a problem with that.
That's
Yeah, I'm telling you, the shit is insanity, man. It's absolutely insane at how crazy it's got. Now let's go back to what Al. Let's go back to Al. Can you mind if you can put up those tweets right quick from I forgot the guy's name, but I just call him Thunderbird. Just put up the tweets from this guy because I'm gonna
Sean have to share it again for me to
okay.
Up, so
I'm gonna get ready to smoke his ass right quick. Yeah, this is gonna be a classic. This is gonna be a classic one here. This it's not gonna be on the level of last week, but there are several things that I wanted to bring to everybody's attention that I saw there. Because what we've got, man, we've got guys, you know, and a lot of times
LCS only orders the bare minimum. He'll only order what you order, and then he might have a couple extra I don't like that. You should be buying double what we order.
And see, my thing with that is that I don't believe, and see, this is what sticks in my craw. That Daredevil 25, there wasn't any hype about that book until a couple of days ago or a few days prior to it releasing.
It was the day the book came out because I didn't hear anything about it.
Right. So if you take that into consideration, Reemo, think about this. If your LCS is ordering 10 copies of that book, they don't know off the rip that book's going to be a hot book.
See, but my LCS owner does because that's his favorite one. He's been pushing that on me since it started, and I just got into it. So he was keeping a lot of copies. When we were able to go into the store, I could go in there and he'd have a bunch, but I saw him start to order less and less of it. But he still reads it. So what I think is he orders the right amount, but it's only a few people that buy it. So I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I'm not a normal buyer of the issue. So if there happens to be an issue that is going to be like a key, the people who really read it, they should be able to profit from it or whatever because they already were into the book.
Right.
It'd be wrong for me to go there and buy all 5 issues when they buy it already.
I agree. And see, that was what I was mentioning. Like your LCS, I mean, apparently, you know, your the owner is a fan, but just hypothetically speaking, the LCS that me and Matt go to, he probably didn't order no more than maybe what Matt, maybe 8 or 10 of those books, if any, you know, 15 at the most. And once those books got in, then all of a sudden, the light switch went on, and damn, this is a hot ass book. So you got people coming in there that may have already got the word, man, this is a hot ass book, like that Shine Bone that I showed. Hey, Sean, that tweet, could you pull that tweet back up for me if you don't mind? But you got that type of situation, so you didn't have a circumstance where they could order that book in surplus. You probably had a couple of people that had it on the pull box, and then they probably just ordered a few extra ones for the store just for the hell of having them. So when you got that circumstance and somebody coming in there and they done got word that this is a hot book, they buy up all the books like this dude did. And all of a sudden, the people that come in there, like Matt just mentioned, that don't have access to pull box or feels like that's too much of a hassle. Because in all honesty, we collect comics because we collect comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a pull box. We got a mission. The reason why we have that pull box set. I got a ton of shit on mine. You know what I'm saying? But there's an ulterior motive behind it. Number one, I don't want to get stuck again like I did with that Robin King. Number two, I want to ensure that whenever the books that I order, they order in case something happens where one of these Dark Knight metal books happen to be a key. I don't want nobody saying, well, this book gonna be $25 when it come in the store. I want to secure my price right then and there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing. I'm about to pull that up right now, Matt. And I hope everyone is enjoying the show that's in the chat. We appreciate y'all being here.
Yeah, when you see a jackass like this, man, when you see a jackass like this fella here is a grade A stone cold lead pipe lock jackass. You use the app. See, I use Key Collector, but what I use Key Collector for is to make sure that I have stuff organized. And if I'm looking for a key, I'm trying to find out what issue the person is actually in that I'm looking for. I'm not going out here, man. Whatever was hot that day, I got to have it right then and there. If I find it at a good price, of course, y'all know me. I'm going to get it at a decent price. But I'm not for to break my back for a book for $25. So when I see a Shine Bone like this fool puts up 45 books like this, this is a guy I probably would have slapped his ass in the parking lot. Because that kind of shit, you have, it's like Chris said, he went to 4 stores looking for something. You got people that have to go through, people are getting off work, people are taking their lunch break, people are dropping the kids off from school or got to go, you got 10, 15 minutes here and there, and then you walk into a store. Nothing deflates me more as a comic collector. Nothing makes me worse especially if I've driven somewhere. And if I've done a job and I've got 45 minutes, so I want an hour away, and I say I'm gonna stop in and see if they got this book. And Chris will tell you, if you drive from where I am, from Macon the way, let's say up to Origin, I use Origin. You get up there, and some nutcases bought 45 copies of Slapstick #2, and then put it in his box. And then I've driven an hour and a half. And in some cases, we got guys around here, man, that stay into these small podunk towns where they have to drive in. They have to literally drive into town. And then you get down there and you hope that we don't have it. But then you hit a store and say, well, if I put you on the pull list, if we get you on the pull list, he may not want to commit to buying that book long term like that.
Right.
That's the problem I have with that.
Exactly. Sometimes you buy these first issues to try them out. You're not. You may not have an interest in it, but you might say, "All right, I'll go to the shop, pick up that first issue, and give it a try." I know a lot of guys that say, "I'm not going to add it to my pull, but if I see it, I'll grab it, give it a read, and if it ain't my liking, I was right not to put it on my pull." If it is good, then I might give the second a try, and if the second issue is good, all right, you getting me closer to putting it on my pull, or I might put it on my pull. But most of the time, you're not going to the comic shop, I'll get my pull and I'll see if they have it, and then if you ask about it, they're like, oh, I sold out, and you only been there after the store been open for a half hour, and he already sold out after a half hour.
Sad.
He sold out there though when he went to the shop on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What time was that?
That was my shop. I went to Epic, and I ain't seen none on the racks.
Hey, let me say this. Is why I said
I go shop on Wednesdays on my lunch break. Now, normally it'll be around 11 o'clock or almost 12. There'll be people there, but not a lot of people. Most of the people, he don't get his people mostly into the afternoon, late afternoon, evening time. So if somebody went there that early and got a lot of them books, I mean, come on, because there's no. I highly doubt you have one.
I was surprised when I went there and they only had the sketch variant of Batman Catwoman 1.
Oh, man.
They sold out on the A copy and they sold out on the variant, but they only had the sketch variant.
This is why I said the tag team partner of the scalper is the store owner.
Yeah, he's a boy.
You know, and you have the occasional run in by the collector. You know, some of these guys, they come in. Some of these guys, man, you have guys that go to that store. Like you may have a guy that's really in with the store owner, and he'll go in. I've seen this too. Alan's been in the store. We've seen this. Guy comes in and he'll get 4, 5, 6, 7 copies of the book. I know one dude right now who I guarantee every week he get 4 or 5 copies of the book. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you in on the secret. I don't give a damn if you're watching the show. I ain't gonna say to call their names or anything, but I know we know a guy right now that's so far in with store owners right here. This shine bone orders the books for the stores.
2 of them.
2 of them. So what he does is he orders get the variant, so nobody else get the variant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of bullshit is that? That's why I said the tag team partner of the store owner is the scalper. The tag team Fabulous Freebirds, Legion of Doom, Bushwhackers, the Quebecers, you name them. That tag team partners. They're the tag team partners, man. And this shit is crazy that we're in an age now, man. I talked to a guy, and I'll put this interview up sometime in the next week or two. But I mentioned this. We're talking about comic book crashes. Well, fuck, we on the doorstep of it because it's all over the place. You got, like he said, Eternals, 50 copies, 40 copies. For what? Who the fuck buying all these books, man?
Damn fucking movie.
And then you turn around. This guy in that thread, that guy said he buying all these books so that he can buy books he want. What, my brother? What fucking books are you buying? Getting Daredevil 25? What you trying to get, man? What are you trying to get? Are you trying to find Wolverine's first appearance when he got in the Subaru car and went down 75? I mean, what the fuck are you looking for? Because that's all you're gonna be able to afford. I mean, this dude talks like he's getting. This dude talking like he's getting $10,000 for these books. Like he's on his way. I'm on my way to the first appearance of Superman.
Yeah.
25 copies of Daredevil 25, man. Get the fuck out, man. Get out of here, man.
You're not getting first appearance of Batman. You're not getting Detective Comics. Like it ain't like that,
bro. You ain't getting the first appearance of a stapler on Alfred's desk for that book, man. For the price of that book.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. That we got guys that's out there that's doing this shit like this, man.
Doing other people in like that.
I'm gonna tell you something else that burns me up too, man. Is when it comes down to these kids' books, and I see these dudes do this stuff, man. Like when it's a children's book or something like that, or a Teen Titans or something come out, Teen Titans Go or something come out like that, and they go loading up on those too, because you got kids that be looking forward to that stuff, man. That's why I said, man, if I could get away with it, man, I would just give a clean Undertaker throat thrust to these times when I see them, man. Because these guys like this make it so hard for people like us in the industry. It make it so hard. You got to go on a damn scavenger hunt for Carmen Sandiego. You got to go find Waldo. You got to look all over the place, and then when you go to a place, you got to pray and hope that the book ain't outrageously priced. You got to hope that the variant, that the 1 in 50 is not marked up to $2,000. It's like this, man. Every week we're going through this. If I could go back, I think Al, when did Robert King come out? That's August, you say, right?
Yeah, it was August.
So, does anybody realize this? That for the last August, September, October, November, this last 5 months, this bullshit has been going on. I mean, the last 5 months of 2020, we're fucking fighting a pandemic. We're dealing with the coronavirus. We're dealing with stuff going to HBO Max, shit getting canceled, PlayStation's getting bricked, Call of Duty no good. Madden's the same shit from last year, the year before last, year before that, 2 years from that, and before that. FIFA ain't hitting no shit. Chappelle said, "Fuck it, I'm off Netflix." This is the shit we dealing with. And then we go to the comic book store. We go to the comic book store, and then we got to deal with the scalper. We got to deal with the troll of trolls. The troll of trolls in the comic book community is the scalper. Because Shinebone is going to buy that book. And he's going to turn around. He thinks he's going to... Now, that same guy in that thread, Al, that same guy is thinking he's going to sell that book at a CGC 9.8 and he's going to get top dollar. Because next week on Comics Tom is going to reinforce the fact that that book came out last week and it's increased by 332.4% to a total price of $6.78. And he's going to, and that same dude. I'm sorry, what say, Reemo?
Hey, so you ain't heard nothing about the Robin King since it came out?
No, Robin King is collecting dust on the shelves of comic book stores across America.
Yep.
Right next to any Squirrel Girl book that you can find. It's the same shit that happened with that. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all my tried and true method, man. That similar to the $1,900 PS5. Let me tell you something, man. People always say, well, I get asked this a lot from difficult. They say, Matt, how do you collect? If it ain't silver and gold or it's old, put the shit back. Unless you just want to get something to hold. Because what happens is you buy these brand new books right out the gate, man. And if you buy them books and thinking you for to get big time dollar, you are sadly mistaken. You get a null situation every 5 to 6 years. You get those type of things very rarely. That was one of those flash in the pans. And I mean, what we've got now is we've got a situation where everybody wants the next books to be the next big book, the next to be the next big book. This is gonna happen in this, so it's gonna be the next big book. Doesn't work that way in comic books, y'all. Does not work that way. For all we know, Elektra will have that uniform on. She'll wake up and it was a dream, and she was sitting there watching an old episode of Arsenio Hall.
Exactly.
And now you got a dollar paperweight.
Let's get busy.
Arsenio in the dark.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is a lot of these guys are going to be sadly mistaken, man. I mean, we got several books that has come out over the last few years. But the next biggest book, man, we can go through. Chris, you go find a whole bunch of Rebirth books that everybody was hollering about. Yep. You know, hey, this is gonna be the next. This is gonna be the top dog. This is gonna be the next. You know, and then you look up. By the end of the run, you can go get the book. As Jay said, you be patient. Wait about 7 months. You can roll your ass right on over to the comic book store, or you can roll over to Dave's, or get you one of those good Dave deals where the same book that you saw was going for $50 last year is not going for nothing today.
I'll say this:
that whole run of static.
If the whole of the crew down South Rises come to Dave's, we are pillaging that store.
Hey man, just bring
it will be like, yes, come get some books. I got the deals, and we gonna be there. Stone Cold Steve, Hialeah, we gonna all come there, and we gonna raid it.
I'm gonna say this in closing: is that if store owners, I have no problem if a store owner wants to go. You know what? I've got 40 of these books, and I've got 15 allotted for pools, and the rest go to the shelves. And I tell you what, if by the end of the week, if I still have some of these books sitting down, I'm going to take 5 for myself. I'm going to slap one, and I'm going to sell the rest at a little bit of a markup. No problem if you do that shit. But when some of these stores, like I said, they come out and they drop it, and it's 45 straight hot right out the gate. Straight hot. Or you got to deal with Scalper Man, who gets the book, who has 400 copies of it on eBay, and he has in big bold letters HTF, hard to find, rare. One in
Baltimore.
You know all that bullshit they put up there.
Fine.
That Oh, it's hard to find. Well, I'll just go to page 2 then. It was right there too.
Yeah.
And then what about the shops like you said they sell the stuff, but they're collectors. So what they'll do is they'll put 2 or 3 out on the shelf, and they'll hold 15 behind the rack, behind the counter. And then we're out, and then all of a sudden when you come in there next week, those same books are on the wall for $15, $20.
And see, that's the store that you need to have the popcorn, the velvet rope.
Yeah.
You need to have on Hall and Oates playing in the background when you walk in.
I can't go for that.
No, I can't go for that. You walk in there and you just wave, hello, how you doing? And that's it.
That's it.
I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of folk. I see the Macedon down there saying I got a bunch of rebirths I like to get rid of. A whole bunch of us, Convergence. Y'all remember that? Remember Convergence?
Man. Yep.
Yeah, remember Convergence?
Yeah. Man.
That's why when y'all talked about Future State and it being 2 months, first thing I thought of was Convergence, because that was when DC made their move to the West Coast and they gave us that patheticness that was Convergence. I had no interest in that shit at all. And then when people was reading it, it's like, yo, don't buy Convergence, bro. They read all 8 issues, the 0 issue for 2 months, and that shit was a complete joke. It's like, and you had all those tie-ins, 2-issue stories of stuff. I'm like, I'm not getting suckered into that, because DC suckered a lot of people to buying those lenticular covers 2 years in a row with the villains issues and then the new 52 ones. Those are like what, $4.99, and it's the whole month. Like, yeah, you can get the regular cover for like $2.99 and get the lenticular for $3.99. But some of us suckers to be like, I want that lenticular because it's look shiny, it's nice, it's pretty. But then you read the shit, you're like, what the fuck, man? I just spent all this money on these lenticulars and this shit is trash, man. I'm like, no, I'm passing on Future State. I'm only getting like maybe 1-2 titles, but the rest can just no.
I'm picking up all them color covers, Sean, at like $1 a piece now.
But no, you can find them
Hey, they had the whole run. No, let me tell you something. This is why when y'all go in these stores, man. This is what we talked about last week. When you go in these stores and you see those Convergence books and they $18.99, $25, $40, is because the store owner bought into the hype that when that book was out, they thought that book was going to be a hot seller, and it turned out, it wasn't shit. But your lazy ass didn't go back to your loan box and mark them, as Al would say, adjust those prices accordingly.
Macedon said he watched the store owner shred a big stack of Convergence books.
I mean, they make great kitty litter box for great stuff for cat boxes. You need to wipe your rims down with them. You got alloy wheels, you can clean them off. I mean, great toilet tissue. But this is what I'm talking about. So next week we will see what Daredevil 25 is, and we will see what the price is. My guess is if the book was I bought it, but I forgot what it was, about $4.99 or something like that. My guess is the book is going to slightly be about $8.
So do you think that harms the LCS and the fact that if you can go on these other websites and stuff like that and pre-order, and you say you cancel your pool list and say, I'm tired of not being able to get the books I want, but I know I can pre-order the book, does that hurt or does that help the LCS?
In that situation, so I want to make sure I got you, Reemo. So you're saying that if are you saying pre-order the book from another store or another entity?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me tell you, I do that.
Yeah.
And Al knows this. Al knows that sometimes I just don't want to be bothered with the I know how this shit go. I've been doing it long enough. I know when certain stuff, when you read them slugs on those stores, you just about know what time it is. It's like the Red X. No, I'm not even for to fight that battle because I already know it's for the happen.
Yeah. Right. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Big Shan in the chat. He says sorry that I have came to church late. Has the Rev started yet? Hey, the Rev, we've been started since early when we was ranting on the video games. I don't even have to play the organs.
Hey man, yeah, he missed the organ tonight. Yeah, he completely missed the organ. Hey, we might have the old cassette like your grandmama used to have in the church when she recorded the sermon.
But then, like Al said though, does that hurt the Spec game? Because now if we pre-order, everybody has access to the book and it's not rare. Because then they're giving you it's not like it's lopsided, whereas the book is scarce, so only certain people have it. If all of us pre-order, we all have that book now. You know what I mean? So it's not like 2 out of the 6 of us have the book, and everybody else is trying to get the book. We all have a copy. You know what I mean? So
I think if they were to start cutting back the number of variants, to move from 40 to maybe 12, maybe 11, maybe 10, then you might have a better situation. But like I said, Reemo, we have to think about it.
Covers, man.
Let's do an inventory check, man. How many books in the last 2 years, outside of Batgirl 50? It was something else. I guess you could say Robert King, if you want to say that. That popped up and was like massive hits.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a handful. And that's the problem. I think this is where the problem is, that everybody's going to the store on Wednesdays, or the scout man is going in, and he's looking for the next big book. I mean, I've seen guys do this, man. Guys go in the store, man. They just pick up they'll get 40 of My Little Pony 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm mad because then my daughter, when she goes to the comic book store,
what I say earlier. I told you, kids would go. They go to the kids section and they do the same thing over there.
They have that little section with it'll have like Star Wars Adventures and like the Marvel
Adventures.
The Avengers and Spider-Man, and like I tell her to pick a book or two off of that, and then I get over there and you got adults over there going through them.
I just think until you got a lot of factors at play, man. When Key Collector first came out, it was a great app. It was something that was good for you to have. Then all of a sudden, it went to you open Pandora's box, and then you start seeing first appearances of used cars. You see first appearances it go from first appearances to now you got anything. I mean, it's just about anything you can find. Next thing you know, there's gonna be Etsy. They're gonna be selling this. The first appearance,
Throw away a set of flip flops.
I remember when people were not liking Comic Tom when he was doing the shows for the CBSI. Then he switched over to Key Collector, and that's where now people are seeing, Key Collector's pumping Tom up with all the information, and now Key Collector now is the one that's putting out these first appearances stuff, and now people are just continuing to rag on Tom. And look, I like Comic Tom. I think he's a good person. He's an energetic person. He's a cool guy. I've been on the stream with him before. He's pretty cool. But when it comes to the speculation stuff, they be taking it too far. And I think it's mostly these people who buy into that shit and just because it's Comic Tom, because it's Key Collector, they need to chase down these books, and they driving the market of these books up. When, like you said last week, we talked about all the Dark Horse #1. I'm like, that shit was in dollar bins for years.
Star Wars. These Dark Horse Star Wars books are in dollar bins. They're in dollar bins. They're there because that's where they were for years.
Yep.
Because of making this first appearance of the damn movie. A damn movie. Dark Horse making his appearance, going paying the movie. Now the books is gonna go up.
Dark Horse, Shannon bought 6 of them for under, I think, damn near under $10-15, and all of them were newsstands. They were sitting in the box, just sitting in the box. I told folk that I like all this $400-500 for Dark Hawk and Sleepwalker and Slapstick. I mean, y'all can have it, man. I'm not. No. Those are books that everybody in this panel should have 3 Slapsticks for a quarter and 2 in a popsicle.
I wouldn't even waste it for that.
I mean, they those books, man, were giveaways.
I'll take the popsicle over Slapstick.
But like I said, I just think that it's becoming week in and week out. And when it comes to speculation, because I talked to Chad about this, I don't know if Chad in the chat tonight, but yeah, I see him. What's up, Chad? I just saw him check in. I talked to Chad last week about this, and I told Chad, I said the thing with speculation is you have to ask yourself, does this make sense? If something makes sense, then it's probably legit. This is what, if you go back to our earlier shows, and Sean can tell you because he's been was watching us when we first started. If I had to put a percentage on the correct speculation that we've done, I'd probably say at least 85%, because we will speculate stuff that would make sense. What you've got now is people are speculating on stuff that makes no sense whatsoever, and it's causing a shift in the market. It's and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Especially,
I mean, you've got. I saw somebody on YouTube specking on Avengers, the animals or whatever. These animals, these dogs and cats or whatever. Something like Power Pack would make sense. Al brought that up when we first started the show. Power Pack sets up the exact. You've got a Disney that looks for shows like that. You've got marketable like Reemo for his daughters. Stuff that stuff reaches a mass. You can clearly see that's gonna happen. Oh well, Eternals. Well, they've got to come off of Earth, so they got to go somewhere. So we go to what? The cosmos. That makes sense. Electro dressing up as Daredevil doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because we know.
The fact that Daredevil's in jail with his Daredevil suit don't make sense.
Right.
In canon, we know that's not gonna happen, man. And that's like telling me.
No, he's Daredevil and he's a blind lawyer that is stuck in jail. How come he ain't at work yet?
I mean, that's like telling me Splinter's gonna take over his Shredder for an issue or two.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what we are. That's what man.
Yeah.
I mean, Destro is gonna lead G.I. Joe to the top of the mountain, to the top of the mountain. I would use Transformers.
Don't make no sense.
I got one for Transformers. Leader one gonna take over the Autobots.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
For a week.
Yeah. I mean, so when you deal with speculation, you have to deal with it in the realms of, does this make sense? Does this make sense at all? You look at, like, when you look at Spider-Man, you go down his rogue list of villains, the major 5 villains. Have we seen them all? No, we have not. So they're probably gonna get one of the major villains coming down the pipe.
Right.
So it makes sense. But the problem now is that comic book collecting speculators are just speculating just to be heard. And what happens is you create a shift. Each week I look at those lists, and sometimes I just shake my head like that doesn't even make any damn sense. And then all of a sudden,
that's just that.
And you got a 2% increase from $1 to $2.63, and everybody goes mad. That book just went up $2.63. It's going up. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's the next Black Panther share. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. Gotta have it.
Oh. You know what really gets me is you have, like, for example, Apocalypse. This first appearance of X Factor. Now you have the Apocalypse movie that came out. That book was all-time high spec. The movie fell, book dropped. Book just dropped quick. I mean, quick.
Look down on the floor, Jay. You'll see it. It's right down the floor.
It was a high value in the first place.
Yep.
Apocalypse is a big-time character. He's a big-time character. That book should always be high. But no, the movie increased the value of the book, but if the movie fell, book dropped quick. Like, that makes no fucking sense, man. I mean, come on.
Hey, we don't need to talk about him, man. We don't need to talk about him.
But just like I was saying, I'm thinking of Omega Red. Now, I'm thinking that Omega Red, that X-Men 4 will already be a higher priced book because Omega Red is a big time character in the X-Men universe. So why is that book already hot? But now the speculation of him maybe appearing in a future X-Men movie, especially now that Disney got him, now people want to start bringing up that prices of that book. Hey, are you fucking kidding me? That book should have already been hot. So when he do make his appearance, the book is going to get even more higher. And he end up being a great character in the movie. That book is going to get even increase more higher. So like,
still $1 being booked.
Why?
That shows you how upside down to this.
Him appearing in a movie for that book to go up higher, which it should already be high with it being the first appearance.
Yeah.
You have a problem. The problem that we have is, and it's crazy because I see Silver Age books that are completely undervalued.
Yeah.
And then you see modern books that's more expensive than Silver Age books.
That should not happen. That should not happen. Period.
That's when you know the everybody is jumped the shark. You know, you can go find. You know, you like this book is, you know, Teen Titans 1 and 2 are undervalued, but the original Teen Titans.
I don't know if y'all see this. Put that up. I don't know if y'all be able to see this, but this is X-Men versus Street Fighter for the PS1, going for $164.99. Now, this game alone, it's a rare game. It is far beyond more valuable than any fucking game that's out on the market today. And if I see any current past generation games or any current gen game damn near the same price as this game, something's fucking wrong. Something is wrong. No game of no modern day video game should be more expensive than a game that's over 20 plus years old. And that should be the same for comics. No comic today should be more expensive than any comics that's the Bronze Age, Silver Age. No comic. I don't care what this away. I don't care if it's a first appearance of any comics character, like for what's the name? Cosmic Ghost Rider. Cosmic Ghost Rider, first of all, I don't care how popular his character got, but he should not be more expensive
than regular Ghost Rider.
Any of Oakland first appearance characters that are big and savage characters that have been around for centuries, for decades. You telling me that's why I'm so mad that the Apocalypse is like Apocalypse is a legendary character, but yet the fucking movie brings down the value of him.
I'll give you another book. I'll give you another book, Jay. I'll give you another book. And this is one Al's teeth will start grinding when I say this. Is that Archangel is a book that for some strange reason they'll mark that book up $125. But like you said, first appearance of Apocalypse, you'll get that for $5 in a bag of Starburst.
Yep.
I could have gotten that Apocalypse from my shop for months. That was on the wall for months at $50. And I'm like, it's my shop. I know they can give me a deal. I can got that $15 off.
Yeah.
Man, the day I said, I'm gonna go buy it, I went in there, that shit was gone. And I was like, see, I waited too long, and next thing you know, it was gone. And sometimes you miss out on opportunities, and it come back around. But if they talking about Apocalypse again, I ain't gonna get it for no $50 or less.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was
that book will go up. That book will go up the moment Marvel and Disney say that. Oh, we may do a new Apocalypse. Oh, that book will definitely go up again. I mean, it's like every time when a speculation with a character, just like with the first appearance of Shuri, like the first appearance, I got that book, and I got that book signed by what's his name himself, Ken Lash. I got that book, so like, I got that for what? It was $1 bin. I think I got it from MegaCon, and I got it signed the day I got that book. I saw Ken Lash was there. I'm signing that book. Get that book signed by him. But now we just talk about Shuri may become Black Panther and all that shit, and now that book, when the speculation in that book increasing the price. I'm like, that book should have already been a high value before this whole speculation of her being in the fucking movie.
So what do you think that, like Sean said, he went and the book was $50, and then when he went back to get it, it was gone, but it was around the same time that people were specking on Apocalypse. But what if the shop themselves took it down and held it back and said they wanted to see where it went?
That's even worse.
Marked up 3 times as high, you know what I'm saying, for $250 as opposed to $50. You know what I mean? So
Reemo, we had
I think he probably sold it.
Always coincidental how it disappears. Oh, someone bought it, yeah.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna quote Al Rainey on this. I'm gonna quote Al Rainey. Al took a book up to a shop owner, and the guy said, "I don't know if I want to sell this." I don't know if I want to sell it because he want to go get it slab for himself. What I just say, the tag team partner of the scalper is who? The store owner.
The store
They
owner.
work hand in hand.
Mhm.
Hey man, you know, Shannon in the chat, we know what dude right now. He called the store. Hey man, take all your sleepwalkers down. They finna be worth something.
That's a triple threat right there.
And then you turn around and then you look up like you said. In 6 months, I would only take to get back from CGC. It's up there on the wall for the max dollar. Look, man, I have no problem if the store owner has 45 copies of Dog Hawk #1 and want to send one off to CGC. But I have a problem when I know I went in your store last week and I saw 20 copies, and now you telling me they all sold out, but then at 9 months, I see 4 or 5 copies. 198, another one 75. Oh, you just so happen to buy a collection that was in.
I'm gonna say this about what Reemo said. I don't have a problem if the shop decide to take that book down. If any speculation even came up on it and stuff, and they decide to take it down, because it's been on that rack for a year, and nobody brought it at 50. So if you even get the word that it might pop, hey, take it down. Since nobody brought it at 50,
Yeah.
get it, get it graded, get it slabbed or whatever, put it up there, higher price. And then once the words start talking out that Apocalypse come back, then I guarantee you some fool gonna get in there and get it at a higher price.
Yep.
So if it's been sitting there for a year, and people just let it sit there, and I'm one of them. I saw it for $50 and I let it sit there. I sat, and then when I decided to get it, it's gone. If they sold it, good on them. If they decide to take it down and say, we just gonna hold it for a future purchase on getting a higher percentage on it, if it goes up, good on them, because they put it there for a year and say, hey, $50 first Apocalypse, nobody bid. So
ultimately, I think what happens, man, is I think if stores don't, and this whole question is going to be on a per store. This whole topic is on a per store. I say on a per store basis. If certain stores don't start operating in the sense of using some common sense when dealing with these books when they come out, then yeah, they're gonna be hurting themselves because people are gonna stop going to those stores. They're gonna go somewhere else. They're gonna go online. But if certain stores start regulating, saying, "Hey, I'm only going to do one copy," these are outside of poor, as Reemo said. These
Right.
walk-ins. Walk-ins are going to get one per store. Then that kind of settles down the madness, and that actually, Reemo, actually helps out what you were saying earlier about actually having to work to get the book. How many people actually have that book? But the problem is when you got Johnny come lately walking the door and he slaps 45 over to the cart, and now he's on eBay, driving up the price. So
I think if they do it that way, everybody wins because you got the people who pre-ordered it basically on their pool list. Then you got the people that you buy for that are going to walk and sell a percentage because either it's been a hot series, obviously because you're already buying it, or you'll get the incentive covers because then the more copies you get the 1 in 10s. Like I said, you get the 1 in 25s, the 1 in 50s. And most shops don't get the 1 in 50s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's unless you're a bigger store. But if you got people in there that are buying it, then you just reward the people. Like if they've been on their pool list for X amount of time, give them first right of refusal. Hey, you want the 1 in 10? You want the 1 in 25, or you want the 1 in 50 or whatever? And if you don't want it, goes to the next guy because those are the ones that are kind of like those should be rewarded to the people who actually read the books. The incentive cover. It's the dude that runs up in there. Oh, let me get this hot book so I can go flip. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess.
And another thing that I feel comic shops should do, like we talk about shops holding out books because they might think is going to sell out and stuff, but they got extras. You got your ones for your pre-orders and you got ones for the racks. Have a set. Like my shop has a glass display where they put their variants, but I will have a stack of what's left over in there. So whatever's gone off the rack, and I will only limit one comic per person. When what's gone off the rack, those are in there in the display case, and I say one copy, cover price. That way, if they need that copy, they hand it to them. But they not selling it for extra money, or they not putting it back on the rack so somebody can come in there and try and snatch them. I'm gonna have this stack just in case. So when the ones sell out on the rack, I have extras to finish out, giving the people who really want to read it.
Yeah.
And cover price.
Yeah. Because I don't ever think that, honest. I mean, if it's not a wall book, I don't think the LCS should have their hands in your pockets. Even if it is a book that's worth money, it should always be cover price. Cover price or less. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
It's a modern book. You know, unless you're a museum where you're going to be selling the chips and all that, then you don't mark nothing up.
Mm-hmm.
You mark nothing up.
Not for sure.
The consumer can market their books up, but you can't.
Yeah.
Unless it's like unless it's a wall book, you know what I'm saying? Or a key.
Yep.
The only time.
You know, fellas, I'm kind of hoping in the next show we don't have to talk about this shit again.
I pray. You know,
this was like 2 straight weeks of us ranting, and I'm like, I want a laid back episode next week.
I know, right?
Yeah, we need to talk about ice cream next week.
Lately, it's been a topic of discussion because it's been happening to.
It's been a hot topic.
It happened to at least once this year. You know what I mean? Where we've experienced where we've gone to get a book that should be cover price and it's been picked up, or a book that should be in abundance. You get there and they're all gone. And we're talking an hour or so after the store opens. You know what I mean? We're not talking about 4 days later. We're talking about an hour after the store opens.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not...
Granted, the day I went to the shop and the Daredevils were sold out, I didn't get there till like 1:30. So, of course, I knew I was the late comer there. But I wasn't really worried about Daredevil because I wasn't really going to pick it up. Batman, Catwoman, I was considering it because I had figured that John's Comic Book Kids and Whitewell would do New Comic Book Day book club on it. And I figured, I wanted to make my first appearance on it. But when I ain't see it and I wasn't really interested in the sketch cover, I just passed on it because I wasn't really interested in buying it in the first place.
But that's what I mean, though. They should have enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Without going overboard, you should have enough for everybody. Like, don't be so stingy where you're so, I don't want my expenses too high. Man, you gonna sell them books. Oh, it's so expensive for us to get books in and pay rent. And if you got the books, people are gonna come buy them.
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? And if that's the case, put some old.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, man. Put some long boxes in there with some back issues. People come buy them.
Yep.
Great conversation, guys. Great conversation. This was very heated. I will agree, Sean. And yeah, we need to talk about the Care Bears or something next week. And
hey, let's talk
Care Bear stare.
Let's talk Blank Man next week.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Man, when I saw that,
either that or some black exploitation movies or something. That'll be cool. So,
I saw that comment yesterday night. So that's so for you to bring up Blank Man to me.
Hey man.
Like, really?
And the Petey Wheat straw, though, I seen that.
Devil's son-in-law, high sheriff of hell. That's what he said. But I'm gonna show this right quick. See what it said. For me, speculation has really hurt the storytelling of comics. We don't see long form runs as much anymore. More time and money invested in issue ones and variants. True, less emphasis on story. Yeah, I get that completely, man. Because I had a rant a couple of years ago about all the times that a particular book got rebooted back to a number one. I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. So, but that was a good convo, fellas. So actually we're done with our conversation. and typically we would go into the phase of any hauls. However, I saw something, and I'm gonna do it for you, Rob, because you're a good dude. And you caught me at a bad time, but if it's for Mrs. G, I'll go ahead and hit a couple of bars, but I won't go no Luther style or nothing because I don't want nobody coming to my house to oh, well, you can sing, all that kind of stuff. So what we're gonna do first though, does anybody have any books they want to show as far as any pickups this week?
I'm getting mine sorted out.
Okay. Well, Sean, Reemo, Jace, Chris, y'all got anything that y'all want to show?
7 minutes, Mr.
I'm just gonna show my books real quick because we've been over 3 hours now. Y'all heading into my territory. Got Vampy number 15. I got Far Sector number 9. Red Sonja, this is number 22. I Walk with Monsters, number 1. And my shop had the Spawn 312 local comic shop day. So I figured I'd get it. And that is it for me.
All righty. Chris, you got anything you want to show, buddy?
Chris there?
You frozen?
I'm here. No, I was thinking. I was like, I ain't got nothing new. I was trying to think.
Hey man, you were frozen in time, man, for like 7 seconds.
Like, I was trying to think that for a second. Like,
okay, I thought you were frozen, man. I thought your internet. Okay,
no, I was deep in thought while Sean was going through his. I was like, I showed him stuff last week. I ain't got nothing this week. Like, I got
for a second there, I was like, "Oh, he froze like Al did on my show."
I was accused of being asleep. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the majority of my haul. I'm doing a haul video this week since I want to work one day this week, so I'm off.
Matt got that mini movie going on.
Yeah, but this is show number 1 image. I've got almost there to collect my run of mostly number 1 Ninja Turtles. So I need to get the Mirage one, which is gonna be hard as shit to get. So, and I think that'll complete my number 1 Ninja Turtles. So sweet, that's it.
I want to give a quick shout out to Varangian Vigilante. It is 6 a.m. where he was at, and he has been active all day. He was on my show. He was on Jeff. Him and Jeff were together doing the live stream, and then he stayed up to watch this.
Right.
Hey man, we hope it was worth it, man.
I just got sector number 9, the A and B cover, or the B and the A cover, and I got the Miles Morales 21 and the 4 in. And then he threw this in because I guess he said this was the letter that was on my pull list this week.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Now, I can take that 2 ways, but I'm gonna take it the high road and say that was good. Cool that he said that and he threw in that free book. But I pre-ordered that 3 months ago.
Mm.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if it didn't show up this time, like, you could have come to a better conclusion than that than to tell me. Tell me, as many books came out that were in that King Black or whatever, he could have at least pulled me another book and been like, "Hey, I'm gonna throw this one in."
Yep.
And he could have, but I'll just say, "Okay, cool, whatever." But I'll take the high road.
Jace, you got something to show, brother?
Yeah, got some pops there, some new pops. You know, Halo Infinite pops that came out this week. I'm still waiting on one more.
Okay.
Got another Funko Pop there, Persona 5 box. And show you the other two comic books I picked up. Finally got these. Blade Runner 2019. I don't know if any of y'all, I'm going to review this whole run probably in a couple of Fridays. But this series is damn good. Much better than when I expected. Like the first 5 issues I thought were okay, solid. But these last, especially issue 10 through 11 and 12, the final 3 issues, damn. It's pretty damn good. I would like to see this come back. I would like to see this come back. Because Blade Runner, hey, y'all watch the movies?
Oh yeah.
Love it.
Because this take place in 2019, but this is a big time prequel. Because during this stretch, I would say a little bit the Angels, this is like the beginning of them creating the synthetic. So it's like what's the guy? I forgot the name. Main guy name because the creator of the company. I forgot the company, but this is a damn good story. And I believe they're doing another comic book series. I'm going to talk about this because comics is killing me when it comes to the video game adaptations to comics. Because I just read all 4 issues of Horizon Zero Dawn. That was great, and that's when pretty much everything that is leading up to the sequel of the game. You got what's the name now? Bloodborne. I need to ask. I don't know if y'all seen Diecast Cook, but he got the first. I know he got a couple of the first issues, but that first issue of Bloodborne is expensive. For some reason, now those first 2 issues are expensive. Like, man, why are them books going up in price for? And it's a longer.
Talking about video game comic getting up there in price. I'm like, now they reaching, man. They really reaching.
But they doing. Titan's doing a great job. They said the Tekken book. Those 4 issues of Tekken is great. So I think Titan. I think it's finding their foothold in the comic books into the video games. I don't mind because they people seem to forget now. It was Dark Horse that did God of War.
Yep.
Because the 2 Assassin's Creed books I showed you, they are from Dark Horse. You got a lot of video games that turn into comic books. And I'm going to do a post on that saying, yo, they've been doing a great job on some of these video games and turning them into comic book series, mini comic book series. Like, if they could get a long run, that's why I'm shocked that Bloodborne is still going. I think it's going to issue 18 over 20. So that's still going. Like, wow, Bloodborne gets close to 20 issues. Man, why Horizon Zero Dawn get it? Yeah, that's all I got. So I'm only 34 issues away from completing Iron Fist, the Mortal Iron Fist run. And how many Extreme X-Men books you got?
Say what now?
Extreme X-Men.
Probably I don't have that many. Probably about 10 issues or so.
Yeah, I'm about ready to complete that one. I'm only missing 2 issues.
Nice.
And I'm trying to complete my Cable run. The first volume of Cable. Man, I'm having a hard time finding issues in the 80s and the 90s. Whether it's in shops or even online. Like when you're online, going on eBay, you see some sellers selling them for about good amount of prices. I prefer to get them in lots. And problem is, you got dudes selling them issues in lots, but it's the same exact issues I have. Like, I want especially though, because I think I got 100, 101, 102, but that the final with 2-3 issues seem like they very rare.
Low prints, man.
Yep.
Low prints.
That's like trying to find the last issue of G.I. Joe. That issue 155. That is fucking rough to
Good
find.
luck.
Yeah.
I was happy that I found that Conan 275 for $3. I was happy I saw that, and I saw $3. I was like, oh shit, that book was hard to find too.
First one, I get 100 issues.
Yeah. I had to look, man. Yeah, that 155 is hard as shit to find, man.
Hey, I know.
I was doing my Tai Chi movements. I'm sorry. Okay. Maestro number 4. This is going to be real short. Deceased number 6. And the movie variant.
I see it.
Shazam.
I'm so glad they used her for that.
Yeah, Mary Marvel. I'm going to do this solid for G-Man. This is a special shout out to Mrs. G, who had a birthday on yesterday, December the 4th. Oh, I'm sorry, Friday, because today is Sunday now. December 4th, 2020. So a special request by the G-Man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. G. Happy birthday to you and many more. Yeah. Smooth, mellow hour. Can you dig it?
The Quiet Storm.
On sale tonight for 1-800 for call 1-800-452-399 for Al's Classics.
Hey, and let me tell y'all something. This is the longest that the Comic Hall Roundtable discussion had. This is officially the longest stream that we've had, but we appreciate everyone that stayed until the end, those who came and showed up. And I will also say this is a first as well. This is the very first time I've actually sung on a stream, and this is the first time that I've actually played the keyboard on stream as well. So whoever sat in this particular stream, if this was a comic, it would be worth about $20,000.
It's a key issue. This is a key episode.
They're gonna mark this episode up by 45%.
And then not only that, it's the first appearance of Reemo in the panel, and the second live appearance of Jace.
But the first appearance of Jace on the show. And then on top of that, you got at least 3 rants from Sean, from Chris, and from Johnny Wishbone. So this show was chock full of firsts, ladies and gentlemen. But we want to say thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying. We appreciate you all. We love y'all. We appreciate you. The viewers.
Never won.
We ask that you keep continuing to support us. We're going to support the comic community. Like, share, and subscribe. If y'all have friends that might like us, tell them about us. Hey, man, these dudes are okay. They may be a little long-winded. They may be crazy, but, you know, they got some really good content. But, yeah, we appreciate you all for being here. My man to my right, Stay Puft. Of course, y'all know he's already got a channel. Big Reemo be everywhere. He's on Instagram under Big Reemo. You got Jace. This is the video game man. He got so many video games. I just want to go to your house and pretend I'm a Toys R Us kid. I want y'all to put Jeffrey Giraffe up above the door when I walk in, and I just want to smell.
So you got over 200 pops, right?
Man, I got over 200 pops. I'm pushing 7,000 comics, and I ain't got as many games as you.
I got a lot of pops, man. I figured I have more than you.
No, bro. You got a guy like Xavier Randall on the
man.
panel.
I knew he had a lot. I saw that water.
It's one of them things, man. You know, you get, it's like peer pressure, man. So. But anyway, does anybody else want to say anything before we let out for benediction? We didn't take an offering tonight, But we'll set up a PayPal for the Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion. For tithers and anything. Anybody else? Matt, you good?
Good, brother. I enjoyed it, man. Enjoyed it. Glad to have Jace on the panel tonight.
That's right.
In the building.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
I'm gonna tell y'all, like I told somebody, I was a guest on somebody's show, Reemo, Jace. First time, I'm gonna tell you what stuff is in the refrigerator. Second time, you know where it is yourself. You just go in there and get whatever you want. That means that you all are welcome whenever, we feel like that. But that's basically gonna be it. The Comic Book G Spot has a show that's gonna start probably in about 47 minutes. I'm gonna jump in there. Varangian Vigilante. I got it right. He has a YouTube show. Go check him out if you're not subscribed. Everybody Doomed and Confused. He has a YouTube channel. Check him out if he's still in the chat. For everybody that showed up, we do appreciate you, Shannon. We appreciate you, brother. Mastodon. I don't know why when I said Mastodon, I want to say pterodactyl. Power
Rangers. Morphin' time.
But yeah, everybody, we appreciate you. So we about to go ahead and end this this particular stream. So on behalf of the Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion with our special guest, Big Reemo and J71889, this is Dusty Brick Brown, Stay Puff 83, Sith 2814, Johnny Wishbone, aka Matt Odom. We wish you all a good night, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Y'all take care and have a great weekend.
Later.
Later, y'all. Be safe.